Departmental trial now underway for NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo. He is accused of using a chokehold on Garner, who later died on Staten Island in 2014. This is being prosecuted by the Civilian Complaint Review Board, and CBS New York's Jenna DeAngelis is at One Police Plaza with more on this.
It started with opening arguments this morning, which were focused on the video recorded of the incident that day and whether or not Officer Pantaleo used a prohibited chokehold. Throughout the trial, we're expected to hear from witnesses, including the man that recorded that notorious video.
No, we ain't gonna stop till our people hungry. I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe.
The men known as the Central Park Five and director Ava DuVernay
I'd never seen that five of you.
reconnecting in New York at the end of an emotional journey. Together, turning a real story of stolen youth and wrongful conviction into a dramatic Netflix series called When They See Us.
They saw you rape the lady.
I didn't see a lady or hit anyone.
I didn't see any lady.
Kevin.
I didn't see any lady.
Explain the title.
I really became allergic to the idea of calling it Central Park 5. They were giving this name by the press, by political forces, and it really takes away their personal power when they...
It took Elizabeth Barker Johnson 7 decades to get here.
Excitement's not the word.
The 99-year-old finally accepting her college diploma with all the attention the moment deserved. NBC's Tammy Leitner spoke with her.
I just was determined I wasn't going to give up.
In 1943, Johnson joined the only all-female African-American Army Corps overseas during World War II. Their job, delivering mail to the soldiers. After the war, she became the first woman to enroll in what was then Winston-Salem Teachers College on the GI Bill. She earned her degree in education in 1949, but couldn't attend the ceremony because she was already teaching and had no one to cover her class.
West Point Military Academy is preparing to make history this year. The largest class of black women, 32 to be exact, are graduating later this month. A reminder, West Point was founded in 1802 and did not graduate a black cadet until 1877. Do the math.
Lake Chad is shrinking, which means today's catch will be a small one. But at least for now, these men can fish here legally. In 2014, the governments of Niger, Nigeria and Chad banned fishing on the lake to try to prevent the armed group Boko Haram making money from the lake and its surroundings, but restrictions have recently been eased.
The government decided to lift the ban on fishing, growing pepper and exporting fuel and organic fertilizers. At the time these things were being banned years ago, Boko Haram was the biggest beneficiary.
It ruins your life. If I wasn't abused, what would I be today? Black men, it's the cultures we don't think about to get that person arrested. It's the background that we come from.
I've been there too. I was sexually abused as a teenager by someone older who I trusted. And when I looked for help, I couldn't find any. I even tried to find something to show that I wasn't the only black man out there who'd been abused as a young person. I found nothing. Mike.
I used the bathroom, and they called the police on me.
Standing inside a Starbucks bathroom in Brandon, Lauren Green called the company's corporate line.
And she said I'm a black male, and called the police on me.
Just being humiliated and shaming me, belittling me, and just felt awful.
Green believes he was racially profiled as soon as he walked through the door and headed to the restroom. He says he heard an employee refer to him twice as the big black guy.
Well,
welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. That's right. I'm your host, the Whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and welcome to Black Minds News. Again, first and foremost, I want to say what's good to subscribe. That should be in the house to catch the live show. I want to thank you for your continues to be a advocate, watcher of the show when you do get a chance to catch it. Passerbys, it's like a grand opening. When you come by, see something you might like, go down the aisle, see something you like, hit that like button, dislike button. We'll send a supervisor out there to see you. We maybe make a deal with you, get you an IOU, maybe come back the next time, might like something, then the second time you come. Agents, well, that's what it is that's the nature of the game. First and foremost, let me get the spiel out before we get into the show. I'm your host, the Whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Mind, is Black Minds TV. And this show is to report, articulate, decode, unveil, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I, your Whiteologist, present this information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people, what we call the greatest land that they call the United States, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. That's right, y'all. Back and foremost for another show. I'd say we're going to come on the daily, but I had to get the show prepared for the day. So sometimes I may skip a day and get back into it the day after. But until I get back on, like riding a bike, you never forget how to ride, right? Let's say you get broke up a little bit, get out of commission, and then you want to try to get back on that bike, right? You might have, maybe you're older now than you used to ride when you was a kid. You know how it is. You didn't forget how to ride. You just got to get back into it again to get the feeling again. So after being suspended for 90 days, I got to get the cobwebs out and get myself prepared and get back in. So today I got a nice little show put together for you. And, again, how it is, you can blindfold a person, put him in front of a map of the United States, spin him around 3 times with a dart in his hand, let him throw it. Wherever he hit and land, it's always something going on here in these United States and globally. Because here we touch everything, right? So, I'm going to start the show off like this. Let's put it this way. We kind of, in a sense, as a society, we look at, having the education to back. People like to say whether people are, educated and those who are in the lower echelons of life is due to the simple fact that you have not acquired higher learnings in this land so that you can be a lettered individual. So let's just say, is higher learning for everybody, right? Some people are just not built to be, let's say, on a higher level. Sometimes we have a gift or skill that we can use our hands and do the technical things, manual labor and so forth But again, those people who persevere and spend a lot of money trying to obtain to get the diploma, how long would it take you if, let's say, you went through that whole aspect, right? You did everything you could and then, got in the later years of life. Would you still say you would need to get that diploma, or would you just say, oh, that's over with, I'm done with it? Well, I seen this story here of a kind of I would, in a sense here, this would be kind of a elder for us. You know what I'm saying? This would be an elder. And, a lot of people who aspire, you got a lot of people out here who aspire to, education. They say education, right, is the venue one must go through in order to obtain to get the perks of this country, as they say. Without it, you're just gonna struggle. Kind of lost something here trying to get that back here, y'all, because there's an article that goes with this. I want to make sure I got that. So let me see something 1 second before I play this, y'all. Okay, hold on. Boom, 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 boom. So where'd it go? then disappeared on me, huh? Kind of strange, right? So anyway, let me go ahead and let me play this first. There's supposed to be another part to this, but it seemed like it just somehow just disappeared. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get it off anyway. So check this out. Be right back. Let's check this out here.
It took Elizabeth Barker Johnson 7 decades to get here.
Excitement's not the word.
The 99-year-old finally accepting her college diploma with all the attention the moment deserved. NBC's Tammy Leitner spoke with her.
Well, I just was determined I wasn't going to give up.
In 1943, Johnson joined the only all-female African-American Army Corps overseas during World War II. Their job, delivering mail to the soldiers. After the war, she became the first woman to enroll in what was then Winston-Salem Teachers College on the GI Bill. She earned her degree in education in 1949, but couldn't attend the ceremony because she was already teaching and had no one to cover her class.
I think the thing for me, if not for her, is to turn that tassel to say, I finally did it, I've done it.
And then, at her 99th birthday party,
we are inspired by you.
News that she would finally get to walk at graduation. And there, a bright red gown made just for her.
First time I've seen it.
On Friday, more than 1,000 other graduates, most of them 70 years younger, were on their feet cheering on the newest member of their class. Molly Hunter, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
So we see that we have Elizabeth Barker Johnson, who had already graduated, right? She graduated back in the days, right? And due to the circumstances, she could not attend her graduation, right? So we see that 70 years later, we see that North Carolina, the University of Winston-Salem State University, decided that they was going to do something a little commendable. You know, we are in the 400 years of the atrocity of 1619, what they considered as the beginning of the colonization of our people. And so they decided that this would be a good time to bring her in, go ahead and formulate it and give it to the official way as doing something that would be, you know, again, as I was saying prior to, we commend her for her getting an achievement. But again, she had already done that, right? And I had the other part to this story here. Like I said, it kind of just disappeared as I was, setting it up. So I don't know what happened to it. Let me look again right quick because there's another part to that. But that's just, sometimes that's just the way it is, right? There's unforeseen occurrences and things unbeknownst to that you can't see that I go through. So anyway, we see a sister, elderly, would be kind of, a grandmom-ish, could be 90 years old, yes, you know what I'm saying, great-grandma for a lot of people, and even younger, could be great-great-great-grandma, right? So, again, higher education seems to be the thing that a lot of people feel that they need to obtain to consider themselves to be acclimated into what we call this society of the United States. And I guess when we see things like this, it gives a lump in the throat for some people and teary eyes and so forth. And again, we commend Miss Elizabeth Barker Johnson because again, she done a lot of things. She had actually been part of the World War II. She served her country and did some things, and actually became a teacher as well, right? And so on this show here, as we honor our ancestors, and sometimes you want to get your flowers when you can see them and smell them, right? You don't want nobody to give you the flowers and you can't see, taste, or hear none of the good things they're going to say when you ain't here. So sometimes you like to get those things up in front. And so it is, they did something a little bit commendable. It's HBCU. And so again, it's a twofold cut. They're using it for their reasons too, right? Like, so maybe it's to encourage, right? So again, we give our caps off to Elizabeth Barker Johnson for staying the fine fight. Now, in the same sense here, we're going to go to another part of a story here. where I see that it's like this is the season, right? We in May, right? This is the season for the ceremonial commencements, right? Where you see a lot of this taking place. And so, for those, again, there are going to be a lot of stories that's going to be popping up. Again, people trying to, especially, again, as I said, we're in that 400 season, right? And so people are going to try to make things like, look, we do great things for you peoples, right? We do good things for you guys. And so, we'll be seeing a little bit of that. So, again, I want to show you this one because it's kind of in the same realm as that story right there, right? Again, that's education. We're going to keep that little theme for a second, right? And let's see. Black women, right? Black women are probably the most educated in this country, not other than people who are immigrants and foreigners. Black people in this nation are sucking and eating up that education. That's why they need all them jobs because they got a lot of debt. So again, in this case, let's check this one out. Now, first, before I go into that, you know what I got to do? I got to get those who might be new to the show. Go ahead and hit this, check this out, and then we're going to, right behind that will be the next clip. So check this out, and we're going to move forward. All right, check this out.
West Point Military Academy is preparing to make history this year. The largest class of black women, 32 to be exact, are graduating later this month. A reminder, West Point was founded in 1802 and did not graduate a black cadet until 1877, do the math. And the first black captain was not named until 1979. And now 32 black women, so congratulations, a big congratulations.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Largest ever class of black women graduating from West Point. You know I'm going to say that again. Largest ever class of black women graduating from West Point. Now, this story was done May the 14th, 2019, coming from The Hill. And this is how it reads. The United States Military Academy at West Point will see an historic number of black women graduate from its institution this year. According to the Philadelphia Tribune, 32 African American women will be graduating from the Military Academy later this month, and the largest group in its 216-year history. My hope when young black girls see these photos is that they understand that regardless of what life presents you, you have the ability and fortitude to be a force to be reckoned with, Tiffany Welch Baker, one of the cadets set to graduate, told Because of Them, We Can, a publication that seeks to the highest inspiring stories about the African American community. In just a short while, I met so many cadets that looked like me and that offered me some comfort. I have been fortunate to have my sister in arms. We have been fortunate to have each other, Welch Baker continued. According to the Tribune, an African-American cadet didn't graduate from the academy, which was founded in 1802 until 1877. The news arrived 2 years after the academy appointed a black woman, Simone Askew, to be the first captain of the Corps of Cadet for the first time. All right, so what we see here now, we see that West Point, again, is having the largest ever class of black women graduating from that institution, right? And we see that West Point is kind of like a military type, cadet school, right? Where they prepare you to be leaders of military and so forth. And we see that according to the Philadelphia Tribune, they said about 32 African-American women will be graduating from this academy this month, right? Which was considered to be one of the largest group in this 216-year history. Now, again, as we're talking about education, and black women are soaking it up, right? And we see in this aspect here, black women are going in there and they're actually trying to get into this military and to be, in positions to actually run and rule. And so it's kind of commendable in the aspect of it. And again, a lot of that maybe got to do with T'Challa, which we'll talk about a little later, right? When they talk about Black Panther, and they had shown how they showed the sisters were the warriors. So what we're seeing now, fellas, those who are out here who still have not found your significant other, women are coming up in the way that they're going to be self-sufficient and whoop your ass and shit don't get right. Because if you don't get right, they're going to be ready to whoop you. Ain't going to be like them old school days, them old movies of those who've been around, get the smack in the face, and right, call the popo. Now she's going to be whooping you because she's going to understand how to do all that. Now, this is going to be a good thing, you understand? Because again, combine the two, right? If she's a warrior and you a warrior, then what you going to produce? So this here, it could be some things to look forward to in the future. So we see that they were saying that the hope of the young black girls to see photos like the one that you did see in this article. And then they're saying that, their motto is life may bring you lemons, but that don't mean you can't make lemonade. Let me say that again. Life may bring you lemons, but that don't mean you can't make lemonade, right? And so we see Tiffany Welch Baker, one of the cadets there. She said, it's publications like this that highlight and inspire the stories for African American communities to have the young ones to see that they can aspire and obtain, right? So these images that they're setting forth will kind of be like what you say in Egypt when they talked about they use, hieroglyphics is what they call it, right? Which are much deeper than they say, well, a picture is 1,000 words, but how deep is a symbol, right? So they're trying to permeate the psyche of young people who may be in, areas that may not see people of prominence or professionalism, and maybe see publications or may see the Mr. Blows Your Mind Black Minds TV show and see them and be inspired, right? So it says just in a short time, they had met each other, right? They became sisters in arms, and they have great camaraderie with each other. So we're pretty sure that would be a long life lasting. You understand? So anybody dealing with them 32, that's them 32 gonna call on each other. You know what I'm saying? Bust. You know what I'm saying? You done did something wrong. They coming to see you. So according to the Tribune, the African American cadets had graduated again from the academy. This academy been around since 1802. And it wasn't until about 1877 that they started to finally, I think, put women in, but we know they wasn't black women, right? And so now with these new arrivals, about 2 years after the academy appointed a black woman, Simone Askew, she became one of the first captains of the court and that is kind of the history of the background to it. But we see that, black women have been finding ways to make, strives to put themselves in a position because, again, everybody don't want to be out here tricking, right? They got that money maker. They could be out here doing what they need to do. But, I guess if you can find another lane, why not take it? Especially when you got brains and, vigor and all that. Why not package it up real good? Because, again, the future, right? That's what this is about. The future. And so we see these young sisters here making some things. But, again, we know in this land, we as black people in this country, especially being a black man, see, that's one aspect of it, of the equation, but we have to look at the other side. Now, while we may see pictures like you see grandma, great-grandma, she graduating, 90 years old, walking the stage, flipping the tassel, I did it. Sisters and being in there. But there's a dichotomy happen here. Why is it not like balance, equal? What is missing here, right? So, let's give you the other side. But before I do that, since we're on the educational aspect, right? Since we do that, well, how about I do this first? Let's see. Well, no, I'll do him. Well, since we on warriors, right? Okay, let's put it that way. I'll do that next. Since we kind of talk about the feminine warrior aspect, right? We see that that they got a movie coming out. Did y'all see that? They got a movie coming out, right? And again, on the theme, okay, you got grandma educating, getting herself so that she can go ahead, and now she finished off. Again, she's already done lived her life, but I guess this might be the culmination to it. Then you got sisters, coming together, getting in the military, learning how that is. Going to be somehow facilitating the masses organization, doing things for him, unless you're trying to build your own, right? Okay, so now you got this as the thing for the brothers. They got to give you a movie, right? And then look at the theme of the movie, because again, that's just what it is, because I'm going to give you the other side to the equation why there's no balance, right? So let me go ahead and show you this right quick, and we'll be right back.
Black Panther is back, but he's not playing the role that we're used to seeing him in, right?
No. Chadwick Boseman has been tapped to play Japan's first African samurai. Boseman will play Yasuke, a native of Portuguese Mozambique, brought to Japan as a slave. Yasuke later goes on to become the first historical samurai warrior of African and non-Asian descent. The star said the legend of Yasuke is one of history's best-kept secrets. He says this won't just be an action movie, it will be a cultural event. The film has been in the works for a few years. No word on a release date just yet.
Forgotten tale of Japan's first black samurai bound for the big screen. You know I'm going to say this again. Forgotten tale of Japan's first black samurai bound for the big screen. This story was originally done back in March 29, 2017. Coming from the HuffPost, and this is how it reads. There's very little recorded history of Yasuke, the young African man believed to be Japan's first black samurai, but his story may soon be told on the silver screen. Lionsgate has asked screenwriter Gregory Weldon, the creator of the 1986 film Highlander, to write a script for an action drama based on Yusaki's century-old story, according to The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. The Lionsgate film is based on the true story of an African whose journey to Japan comes with conflicting background stories. Weldon told Deadline last week, "The one I've chosen is that he was a slave soldier after the fall of the Abyssinian Bengal, a black kingdom run by Ethiopians. In that story, Yusaki was sold into slavery and found himself in the care of Alessandro Villano, an Italian mercenary. Weldon explained they formed a bond, and when there was complications in Rome, he was sent to Japan and took Yasuke with him." He added, Yasuke was an African slave in his early 20s when Villano brought him on a missionary trip to Japan in 1579, according to historical accounts that Oxley reviewed. He stood out there because of his tall stature and dark skin, and he soon became a local celebrity. His real name is unknown, but locals call him Yasuke in Japan, likely a Japanese version of his birth name. When Japanese warlord Oda Nobunaga learned of Yasuke and his impressive strength, he hired the young African as a feudal bodyguard. Under the Nobunaga, Yasuke quickly rose in the rank to become a well-respected samurai warrior who spoke fluent Japanese. They presented him with a blade, and he went to work, wide and told deadline. Parts of Yasuke's story lived on in the 1916 Japanese children's book called Kurosaki, about a young black samurai who often dreams of his parents in Africa. Mike DeLuca and Stephen Hirox are co-producing the film, which is currently called Black Samurai. Lionsgate has not released any other information about the film, and the media distributors did not immediately return the Huffington Post request for comment. All right, so I think we're back here. I've seen a couple comments out there. I'm not sure whether they're kicking y'all out or not, so I'm going to say I see Night Killer 22. What's good, my brother? Leonard the Yuta, fire. Yes, right. Smash that like button, as Leonard the Yuta is saying. And we see, it's like it says DJ B-Side, 1965, said women weren't accepted at the Service Academy until 1976. And so that's a little history for you. So, yeah, you're right about that. And, in a sense, again, the dichotomy I'm trying to show here is that you can see black women can be elevated in this system, right? But we rarely see anything when it has something to do with we being black men in this nation, right? We don't have, even when they prop somebody up to pretend to be like you, when you really do the background. Now, again, some people will take They will say that I'm a little bit, what they say, I guess they say diversive, right? You trying to split us up, right? When I say that, even if you was to take Barack Obama and say, see, black American or African American, anything can be cloaked as African American, right? You can be got African descent with you, and being an American makes you an African American. But black American is a little bit different. This is kind of from the blood, sword, sweat, and tears ancestors who helped build this land, create this place where everybody gets to come, put their feet up on our couch, come in, shoes ain't clean, go up in your fridge, you know what I'm saying, without permission. We allow that up in here, right? And so when it seems that when the people want to make those kind of, let's say, movies or to give inspiration for black men, you can't find them doing movies that would really portray to them, right? So here it is, you use T'Challa, right, from Panther, those who had liked that movie. I myself had some of my own issues with it, but I keep to myself. But, there was a dichotomy in that movie, wasn't it? You had Killmonger, right? Look at that, Killmonger, right? Now, he was representing that which came out of Oakland, Panthers, history and so forth and so forth. And T'Challa was who he was from Africa. And you know how that whole storyline went, right? So, again, even when it was in the form that it had something to do that was cut, it had a bad cut to it. Now, a lot of us that seen that, we kind of gravitated like, yeah, that's what we talking about. Yeah, that's what we talking about right there. But T'Challa was kind of like a little something different. And the whole thing of, Wakanda and all that was like excluding you. Like you was the bastard aspect to us. And we really ain't getting down with y'all like that. But later on, due to the simple fact that what transpired, and we got some sympathy for y'all. So we're going to try to help you out, right? So here we got T'Challa now coming back, going to play the Japanese cat, right? Back on the African continent. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that storyline, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you displaying that, right? And so what we have to say is, in this land, how come they can't find stories that would be relatable to the black American man? Because again, maybe somebody don't want us to be inspired. Huh? Maybe we're not to be inspired to achieve no more than what black exploitations had breeded, what certain aspects of hip hop has breeded, you understand, and what news, society, and statistics would tell you that the black man is this, and the label of stigmatization that comes with that. Well, that's the thing you to aspire to. And then we have paths for you to go and get incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, or you either be my footstool or you'll be dead, right? Those are the choices that you get, right? What's good at the V of Reason? Say Crip Love Cuz, Crip and Clubs. Okay, what's good, brother? So what I'm saying is, okay, you can make a movie based on, again, a story that has something to do with Africa, and then, you know, the storyline also has he was a slave that, you know, a individual ended up taking him to Japan, and then he get raised up and brought with status, and he became a samurai and rose up into stature of status, and something now that his story they'll talk about. Well, that's great in the sense of that's not us. You understand? Now, again, I know everything. We say everything of my skin is my kin, right? Everything of my skin is my kin. But when we black Americans here, everybody don't seem to be kin with us only when it's beneficial for them, right? They only want to be black when it's like, well, they don't got no culture. They ain't got nothing that nobody really representing. But they'll glean and pick off you when it's convenient. But then the minute it's something that it becomes negative and they don't want, they can jump off. Saying, I'm African American when it's convenient, but I don't have to be black American in whole. Do I need to say that again? I could be African American when it's convenient and then jump off when it become black American, because that's y'all. That's not me. So again, some people will go and support the movie. Again, it is what it is, but I'm just saying, Yasuke, again, samurai, Japanese history, right? You understand the whole samurai, again, a lot of people say ninjas was black, and okay, but is that us? You understand? It's bad enough that everybody will get mad and be saying, y'all don't want to be Africans. We got 400 years, at least they count, it could be 500 plus, depending on where you want to count. We got 4 or 5 right here. That don't mean don't honor that once upon a time I have an ancestor who had connected, but I look at what's going on today there, and I have to say, if we was to pick up and pack up and go over there, we back in the line. We started from fresh. We are katas. You understand? Even though everybody try to act like that's not what it is, even though even they and they only is in the back of the line, because China there, Russia there, French there, Britain there, United States sneaking up in there. You understand? It's a whole lot of people there. So we gonna give up what our ancestors done built and put blood, sweat, and tears. And my brother here, all that blood we done put up in here, and we just gonna be like this up. So that's why we don't get inspired. So that's why the inspiration gonna have to come between us. That's why the unification has to come through us, because ain't nobody else gonna do it. See, they'll give you some inspiration as long as it's not you to see somebody else. So that makes something internal when you're little that you don't really like yourself, because you don't see yourself. It's kind of like, depending what age group you come out of, you could have been watching TV all that time. You're watching cartoons, right? You know, cartoons seem to be innocent. You know, it'll be some Scooby-Doo or some shit like that. You don't see no niggas in that motherfucker, right? You don't see no niggas in there. You see everybody in there that represents somebody else, and somehow Scooby is the only thing close to being black in there. So I guess you got to be the damn dog. Huh? You know what I'm saying? So the close thing in that motherfucker there is you. It's Scooby. And so that's kind of inspiration they want to give motherfuckers. So again, everybody wants to try to, everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. Again, when it's only convenience. So again, if you want to go see, again, if you could Usagi and T'Challa and that, be my guest. Again, I just bring it forward and let you know that it's out there. And we're going to move forward on that, right? Yeah, I just do what I do, right? So let's give you the other side. Let me give some little history. So see, let's see again as you talk about this history when it comes to let's see, man, what the shit is going up in here and just disappearing? What's going on in here? Right, I got some stuff that's coming up and they're just disappearing. I don't know how that's doing that, though. I don't know how that's doing that. Okay, maybe here we go. All right, so check this out. Now, again, I'm going to put it like this. Now, again, we being black Americans in this land, again, we're going on this 1619. This is 400-year commemorative of our ancestors, right? And then, you know, being reared here, being educated here, going through the environments, we come through hoods, right? You know, that's most of our stomping ground. We start there, and then some of us, we get a little kundalai, we get a little educated, we start stepping away from that. Like, I'm a little different from that now. I keep hearing all this shit on the damn internet about Pookie and Ray Ray. Okay, whatever y'all say, right? Whatever y'all say. But anyway, so let's look at something. I ran across an article that give a little history to some things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be seeing things, but you don't be understanding the historical reference to it. And see, when we talk about education prior to, when we talk about how the women and these great grandma graduate, look how they be instituting things to you unbeknownst to you. And it be innocently done in the sense of a child. So when you were playing games and stuff and singing certain little songs that you didn't even know where that was coming from, do you know the origins and where that was coming from? So let me show you this article I had ran across right quick. For some of y'all sitting there on your hand coming up in here, you know what I do? I'm a little brother up on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Asking, let me hold some in the cup for me right a second. Then we're going from there to go right into this article. So check this out. Hold on one second. Go to this article. Check this out. The racist children's songs you might have not known were racist. You know I'm going to say that again. The racist children's songs you might not have known were racist. This story goes back to May 21st of 2014, coming from the Vox. And this is how it reads. School children sing alongside the Bournemouth Symphony conducted by Creole Caribbeans at the Colston Hall in a tribute to the composer Benjamin Britten and the centennial of his birth on November 22nd, 2013 in Bristol, England, more than 100,000 children. Warning, we are talking about racism in this article. There is some offensive language below. A little over a week ago, NPR had an illuminating and poignant report on the racist beginning of the Ice Cream Truck song. The song's melody, it turns out, was polarized in an antebellum minstrel show where the lyrics parodied a free black man attempted to conform to white high society by dressing in fine clothes and using big words. To make matters worse, that song became the basis for an offensive folk song in 1916 titled Nigger Love a Watermelon, ha ha ha, before turning into the melody that beacons ice cream seekers today. For Theodore Johnson III, who wrote the article, knowledge of that history ruined ice cream trucks for him. When the reach of racism robs me of fond memories from my childhood, it feels intensely personal again. Whenever I hear the music now, the antique voice laughing about niggers and watermelons fills my head, Johnson wrote. Johnson's piece got us thinking about the songs like the Ice Cream Truck song, a seemingly innocuous folk song, nursery rhymes, or jingle that we may not have known were racist, and what we should do when we learn about their histories. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, early 19th century. The word eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. An alternative version, catch a Negro by his toe. If he hollers, make him pay $20 every day. The meaning of this rhyme is rooted in the slave trade. There's an idea that it comes from slave selections of a description of what white slave owners would do if they caught a runaway slave. It was actually a part of a 2004 lawsuit against Southwest. The black plaintiff in that case used the airlines for discrimination because a flight attendant had used the rhyme while urging them to take their seats. The jury did not side with the plaintiff, and though they appealed, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed the initial ruling. Pick a bale of cotton, 1801 to 1861. The words jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton. Got jump down, turn around, oh Lordy, pick a bale a day. There's also another version that goes. The meaning, the song can be seen as glorifying and poking fun at slave conditions. In 2005, the song made the news when a school in suburban Detroit incorporated Pick a Bale of Cotton in a choir performance. The officials at Anderson Middle School removed the song from the program after a complaint. Jimmy Crack Corn, 1840s. The words, "Oh, massa gone and I'll let him rest. They say all things are for the best, but I'll never forget till the day I die." The meaning, the song is about a slave and the death of his master. There's a point where the slave who was singing the song laments for his master, but some scholars argue that there is a subtext of the slave rejoicing. Oh, Susanna, 1848. The original lyrics, it rained all night. The day I left, the weather, it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death. The meaning, the protagonist of the song is an African-American slave who was portrayed as dumb and naive. In the song, the singer can't grasp the ideal of temperature and geography. Camptown Races, 1850. The original lyrics, the Camptown ladies sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah. I come down there with my hat carved in, doo-dah, doo-dah. I go back home with a pocket full of tin, oh, doo-dah day. The meaning, the vocabulary used by lyricist Stephen Foster is meant to mimic black speech. There's a deliberate choice here to make the singer sound unsophisticated. Should we change the songs if we know they're offensive? Should we ban them? Their songs, many of which are sung today, aren't just uncomfortable because of their lyrics. Most were used in minstrel blackface performance in the past. An unavoidable question arises, what do you do with these songs? Ban them? Stop singing them? Change them? For the most part, schools in the United States have gone with the latter. But that decision raises even more questions. What kind of music are we censoring? What kind of music are we preserving, and who decides this? At NPR, Johnson struggled with similar questions when faced with whether or not to tell his children about the origins of the Ice Cream Truck song. Do I empower them with the history of our country or encourage the youthful exuberance induced by the ice cream truck? It is my responsibility to follow the sweet taste of ice cream with their first taste of racism. I contact Matthew Shaptel, a professor of music theory and associated dean of undergraduate studies at Florida State, for an expert opinion. When it comes to these songs, Shaptel explains that children should be taught the modified version because they can't grasp the nuances of race just yet and don't have multiple levels of understanding. Later they can learn where the song came from, and that lesson will be an important one. These songs are part of a racist history, our nation's history, and we want to be aware of our racist roots, Shafto said. We don't always do this with American folk songs. We change the songs and scrub them clean. In other musical instances, this is not the case. Jazz Bass St. John Passion, for instance, is set to anti-Semitic texts. It's well known that there's some challenging language in the Gospel of John. Michael Marison, a noted Bach scholar, said in a 2013 interview with WQXR Radio, Shafto explains that we usually attach a disclaimer to Bach and explain how his art was a product of his time. But these songs can teach us about our past. For instance, the song may have provided information about the cruelty of slavery to Northerners in the 1800s for our audience today, to provide insight into the historical and political context of those times. It becomes clear to scholars that blackface minstrels were really the North's only exposure for what was going on in the South. Shafto says, explaining that while these shows were racist and terrible, they were trying to portray some semblance of reality of what life was like in the South. Jimmy Crack Corn, one of Abraham Lincoln's favorite songs, is in one example Shafto points out. The song portrays a slave who shows emotion and perhaps longing in the wake of his master's death. It was written at a time when slaves were regularly dehumanized and not presented as having internal lives of worth. But the slaves portrayed in Jimmy is someone who has feelings, whether it be lament or rejoicing. Someone who is human, someone who isn't just property, Shafto explains. In comparison, old Susanna, the slave, is depicted as so as too dumb to realize his situation or to grasp the concept of geography. That's more of the slaves as property portrayal. Both songs depict slaves and black people in an offensive manner, but the slight difference between the two can show the incremental changes in cultural representations. Again, this is no way a defense of those songs, a defense for keeping their original lyrics, or absolving the audience members from their consumption of racist material. But studying these songs in the proper context suggests the songs represent more than may appear at first listen. Johnson's article, he writes that he ultimately decides against telling his kids about the origins of the ice cream truck song, but they will likely learn it one day. And his story raised awareness among his readers. Perhaps therein lies the value of these songs. Their existence raises awareness and starts conversations that we wouldn't have if they simply were forgotten. The stories we learn from them are painful, but also vulnerable. The songs meant something at the time they were created, and they have a different and important meaning to our lives now, remembering a past that we should never forget. All right, so back after that, they appreciate that for that. So I said the V of reason, right? So you got hood is in this world. Hood is my world. I think hood is all our world, brother. Some of us kind of forgot home. Some of us stayed in home. Some of us may be detriment in home, and some of us might be good to the home. So we got kind of all kind of different ways of how you're looking at that. But I get what you and I feel what you're saying, brother. See, you got the DJ B-side 1965 says Black Panther in the Marvel movie is very watered down compared to the comic book character. He also goes on and says, I bet if we really checked the history, we were probably the first samurai. Well, accordingly, they said also, too, is that when you talk about what they call those, ninjas, and then they have, what is the other one? Where they do that, where they kill themselves. I guess the samurai, right? I guess that's what that is, right? Well, accordingly, if you do the history of Japan, it supposedly was started off by our peoples, right? Again, how we have this kinship when everything black is our kin, like everything in our skin is our kin in certain aspects, and then sometimes it's not, right? So in the case here, we just say ancestral wire going back. Japan had to be, right? It had to be people of color. Kind of like that dude that went on that Sentinel Island trying to come out here and bring Jesus. And they was like, okay, taste these damn spears while you at it. And then tell me Jesus, right? See, everybody ain't playing that. See, so that's what happens. They end up coming in, you befriending them, giving them a hammock, feeding them, and then smoke weed with you. And the next thing you know, they got a gun to your head and they pumping all your ladies and they killing you off, right? That's how it normally go, right? That's how it goes, right? And so, so as you say, checking that history, of course, are they going to really give us the 1,000% of the history? It always got to have the slant because it can't give us the light. You can't give us as black men because, again, when you look at what we in, who running everything, yeah, some people say you can attain and everything, but again, it's kind of, the way I look at it, it's kind of like you have a glass ceiling. You can see where you want to go, but there's some places, even though you may have, again, my last show I did talk about the money aspect, how Bill Cosby showed you can have the money and want to do something that might be beneficial for your people, but, certain powers that be will be like, nah, you can't have it. Your money ain't got no power. It's like that brother, the rapper that went to the store with the Gucci store to try to buy the bags, and it was like they ain't selling to him, but he just didn't get it. You get what I'm saying? And so, when it comes to history like that, of course they're gonna have the slant, and then if they do, they already done thoroughly looked at it to find that there's an avenue of either there's gonna be some affinity with them, right, or some marriage and children. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be 100% pure with us. That don't get displayed. It's kind of like I did Paul Robeson. Look how they did Paul Robeson in history here. He ain't even mentioned, right? They won't mention Paul Robeson because, again, what he stood for and how thorough and 100 he was, that ain't something they want to put in the psyche and minds and hearts of, spreading them kind of seeds. So they will kind of bypass him. You only get that if somebody like myself or yourself per se is doing that kind of research in history. So I get what you're saying, right? And so that's true, right? So they're never going to put us in that light. And so look at this stuff here. Look how they slowly increment their kind of unbeknown shit to us, right? As kids. Now, back in the day, now again, I don't know what era you come up out of, right? But I remember when, it was kids and shit, put your feet in, right? Everybody put 2 feet or put 1 feet in, right? Everybody know that? Put 2 feet in, 1 feet in. What's the song? Any, mini, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he holler, let him go. Any, mini, miny, mo. My mother said to pick this baby. Was one of you were out this game. Well, dirty, dirty dish on the right. Remember all that shit? Remember that shit? Right? But unbeknownst to the kids, you didn't know that song was about some other shit that, again, that went back to our ancestors and the way they was, depicting and playing and buffooning our people, right? They ain't gonna teach you that. That's it. You have to get that from either somebody who, again, me being a whiteologist, and I love black folks. I don't give what, from the street to motherfucking to, shit, I can't say niggas in Washington, but you know what I mean? If you good, we good. If you on that, you on that foo-foo shit, then it is what it's gonna be. So anyway, these songs, again, it's kind of like if you got kids, if you have kids and you let your kids sit there watch TV, and you ever kind of be like you watching it with them, and you be paying attention to the shit they watching, you'll be seeing some funny shit, right? You'll be seeing some funny shit sneaking up in there, like, what was that shit? Right? So they're talking about them Teletubbies, and this one was gay, and this, they introducing unbeknownst, because see, again, what is it? Alpha, theta, beta mind states. Like when you're watching TV, they say you're in a beta state of mind, meaning you sitting there and you so in a state that in the threshold, they're throwing shit in your subconscious, even unbeknownst to you, and then you start finding out the subliminals, and it's showing all this sexual perversion, like Lion King, when Simba or Mufasa fell on the ground and the dust went up and it said sex, and it's all kind of dick in the ice cube when they're showing the coke and all kind of shit, right? So, somebody always got that kind of aspect. So when these songs ain't no different, this is historical. So everybody talking about We're going to clean it up. We're going to wash it up. It's the origin. It is, you know what I'm saying? It is what was planted. No matter how you rewrite it, but in its origins of it's kind of like the Constitution. You was considered, where was you when they wrote the Constitution? See, this is what most people won't look at. You want to use the Constitution, but you won't say, well, where was you at when the Constitution was written? Oh, you was on the plantation. You had no rights. So when they wrote that, was that you included, or now making an amend and adding you in now makes that the totality sufficient, right? And a lot of us, we go with that. No. You got to get rid of that, rewrite it now. That way, that's why they can't play games with you. So the same thing with these songs. Them songs, what it is, it don't matter how you twist the words and try to change it. So here they is in our neighborhood. You know, kids going crazy. Ice cream! Right? And not saying these niggas are planting in your planting in your goddamn head that what? Right? The ice cream truck song, as it was saying, right? So that's how it be, man. So we have to be conscious of that kind of stuff. And, you know, we got little ones, nieces, nephews, children, you know, and all that. We have to be conscious of all that. Because we are kind of we in a war. From the plate to the air you breathe, to the water you drink, to everything you see, to everything you hear. It's coming at you. So you kind of like Neo in the movie Matrix. Remember when he was fighting all them damn agents? It was just like, he got to the point. Now he's the one. Now check this out. Neo was the one. And yet that motherfucker had to fly up out of there because he couldn't take, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how we dealing when we trying to defend everything somebody just throwing us. Just get to the point that you usually get weak, but you can't. Because getting weak means you up out of here. So we have to fortify ourselves by, again, being educated upon certain aspects. Now that may not be nothing to nobody, but that might be something to somebody. So hopefully that is for something there. So again, let's move on to something else here. See if anybody's got something out there to say. I see Killer say Black of the Berry, Sweeter the Juice from Night Killer 22. DJ B-Side said that's facts, sir. You know, I got this here. Now, again, remember I gave you the side with the females on. Then we gave the warrior, because, again, if they're going to give us something, they're going to give us something like that. And, again, that's not taking away from history, who he was and what that played. And that's not taking on, but that's what those from Mozambique, right? If you're from Mozambique, that's inspiration for you. Oh, we could, you know, come up from a slave and I can get next to the emperor or something like that and become, you know, be that. But that doesn't really infuse us. It's just somebody who's black. I mean, we being here in this nation here, now some people, again, they have their problems with ADOS. BADOS is what I say. Black gonna always be first when I'm talking, right? Black, some BADOS, right? Those ones just be American DOS. That's fine. That's okay. But I understand what you're talking about. But you have people who from other nations who got problems with that, right? So again, anytime we try to unify and do some things, people gonna have problems with it. So as long as we stay in the condition that we are, where, you know, we slow foot, snoo foot, and the mud just moving in our own master. Everything good. But the minute you trying to come up out of that, say, no more of that. We ain't trying to be that. Not that we look down on that before, because again, those are the paths that laid down to get to where we are today. Without that, those stepping stones, those shoulders, we couldn't be where we is today to make the changes what we need for the future that's coming. Because again, we're being attacked on that, right? So check this out. You know, last year about this time, you know how it is. We go in places of, you know, what did integration get us, right? When we look at integration, a lot of people, again, at the time, if you was in that time and that was what it was, and that seemed like a great idea, because it was like, maybe if we integrate with them, maybe they won't lash out and come at us so much. Maybe they won't come at us, right? And so I seen this, and it kind of reminds me of that. The integration in the Woolworth and stuff like that. So again, once again, this was about last year, about this time, about in April, around this time last year, a situation that happened. Two brothers was sitting in a place of establishment, and things transpired. So then there was this big thing that came out after that, and it was like, okay, we're gonna change this up, all right? We're gonna do that, we're gonna change it up. We're gonna make new policies, and right? But this would happen, right? Check this out. I'll be right back.
I used the bathroom, and they called the police on me.
Standing inside a Starbucks bathroom in Brandon, Lauren Green called the company's corporate line.
And she said I'm a black male and called the police on me. Oh, no.
It's being humiliated and defaming me, belittling me, and just feel awful.
Green believes he was racially profiled as soon as he walked through the door and headed to the restroom. He says he heard an employee refer to him twice as the big black guy. And while he was in the bathroom,
this incessant knocking starts, knocking on the door over and over again. Do you need fire rescue? Do you need fire rescue?
Green and his attorney, Jasmine Rand, believe that was just a way to get him out. Instead, he called the Starbucks corporate line, and he was on the phone for more than 20 minutes and eventually left the store. An employee called Hillsborough deputies and had them issue a trespassing ticket.
All my client did was use the bathroom while black.
Rand and Green feel the situation bears a striking resemblance to a case in Philadelphia last year when two men were arrested after sitting in a Starbucks without making a purchase. Starbucks held racial bias training and changed its policy to allow anyone, including non-paying guests, to sit in its stores and use its restrooms.
Here we are again a year later, and you failed in your promise to the public to keep them safe.
A Starbucks spokesperson told Fox 13 the company is investigating, adding, quote, "We always strive to create a warm environment where everyone feels welcome. We have zero tolerance for discrimination of any kind and take this type of accusation very seriously." Green says he hopes so.
I have never experienced anything like this to this degree. This is extreme.
In Brandon, Aaron Mesmer, Fox 13 News.
Man says he was kicked out of Brandon Starbucks because he's black. You know I'm going to say that again. Man says he was kicked out of Brandon Starbucks because he's black. This story was done, looks like this was actually done on May 8th, 2019, coming from Fox News 13. And this is how it reads. Brandon, Florida. A customer at a Starbucks in Brandon is accusing an employee of racial profiling after he claims he was harassed and issued a trespassing ticket. Lauren Green said he was a target as soon as he walked into the store and headed to the restroom before stopping to make a purchase last month. Almost as soon as he entered the door, he heard somebody say, "There's a big black guy headed to the restroom." His attorney, Jasmine Rand, said during a news conference. A few minutes later, the insistent knocking starts, knocking on the door over and over again. "Do you need fire rescue? Do you need fire rescue?" Rand and Green believe employees were trying to get him to come out of the bathroom. Instead, Green called the Starbucks corporate telephone number. Rand said the conversation lasted more than 20 minutes, 2 minutes of which he played for the reporters. "I used the bathroom and they called the police on me." And he said, "I am a black male and they called the police on me." Green can be heard saying during the call, which was recorded by both Starbucks and Green. So you feel like this is racially motivated? Correct. The customer service representative asked. Is it very because I walked in and she immediately, in not even 5 minutes, she goes, "A black man went inside and called the police on me before I even got in the bathroom," Green responded. Green, who claims he heard someone twice call him the big black guy, ended up leaving the restroom and eventually the store. By then, an employee had called Hillsborough deputies who issued Green a trespassing ticket at the request of the store. "It's being humiliating and defaming me and belittling me," Green said Wednesday. "I just feel awful, and I tried to make the best out of something that was truly escalating out of control." He and his attorney said this situation bears a striking resemblance to a case in Philadelphia last year, when 2 black men were arrested after sitting in the Starbucks without making a purchase. The company held racial bias training and changed its policy to allow anyone, including non-paying guests, to sit in the store and use its restrooms. Here we are again, a year later, and you failed in your promise to the public to keep them safe, Rand said. I have never experienced anything like this to this degree. This is extreme, added Green. Reached via phone, Starbucks spokesperson told Fox 13, we always strive to create a warm environment where everyone feels welcome. We have zero tolerance for discrimination of any kind and take this type of accusation very seriously. We are conducting an investigation to understand what happened and will take appropriate actions. Green's plans to file a lawsuit, although the details have not yet been ironed out. In the meantime, he wants the trespassing citation dropped and the employee fired. All right, so once again, same old suit, just reheated. Always, huh? See, they say a leopard can't change its stripes, that a referee is unbiased. I threw that one in there, right? I be acting like motherfucking referee don't be cheating and shit. Anyway, so we see in Brandon, Florida, a customer had came into a Starbucks. Brother's name was Lauren Green. And he claimed, according to what they say, he claimed that racial profiling, that he was harassed and issued a trespassing ticket. Trespassing ticket, wow. Right? So we know when we don't be claiming nothing. That'd be what it is. But, you know, again, like the Rodney King situation, what your eyes see is not telling the whole story. Right? You know how they got his program like that. So we see that Mr. Green claimed he was a target. As soon as he walked into the store, he headed to the restroom. You know how sometimes you got to go to the washroom first, right? You know, so he was holding it wherever he was coming from. You go up in the restaurant. Everybody be acting funny when we come in like that. You see other people coming in, they got no problem to get the key. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff. That would have created that whole key thing, big ass piece of wood or, you know, plastic on the motherfucker so you can't steal the key. Like, what you gonna steal the key for? Why? What good I don't do unless I'm just gonna, you know, throw a monkey wrench because I didn't like something y'all did. Other than that, but you know that was so you can come in there and ask them so they can see who you are. Oh, I remember. Now if you from where I'm from in the hood, right there, we ain't got no bathroom. I'm like, well, where the hell you go? You ain't got you eat lunch. You ain't got shit, nothing like that. Like, no, none of that. Okay. So anyway. So your brother went in there, tried to go in there. So he says he goes to the bathroom. He hears somebody. There's a big black guy. There's a big black guy. Emphasis on the big black guy, right? So he going in there. He hear that, so he already know. Oh, you know, it's on, right? Well, it's on, right? I'm gonna be one of them, huh? All right. So, you know, he hearing it, right? And so a few minutes later, he hears them knocking at the door, banging on the door, over and over again, and saying some cockamamie-ness. Do you need a fire rescue? What? Do I need a fire rescue? What? Who thinks like, I mean, really? You know what I'm saying? But see, we be making these stories up. That's why I make sure you see what I'm reading. Because see, I swear down, we be making this up. Because again, without video, YouTube, and all this that we have social media now, those going back before then, it was just your word versus, you know how it is, two, 3, 4 cops word. And you know, they got credibility even though we be finding out purge a lot. And as a matter of fact, we're going to get into something that happened just recently as the next one come up. So we see that the lawyer in Green believed that the employees were trying to get him to come out of the bathroom. Instead, what he do is he calls corporate. You know what I'm saying? He's using his head. Now, again, that's another way you can look at that, but that ain't for me to, you know, to put in there. That's just what the story said. Because again, I mean, well, I guess you could. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They did leave that door open, right? that was a good way to see that brother thinking. Now, let me talk to y'all straight. Let me talk to you straight. So we know that just happened about a year ago, right? Matter of fact, when we look at what them brothers did, let me tell you something about what them brothers did, right? Them brothers went in there, everybody knew about what happened with the Starbucks, right? Two brothers go in there, probably waiting on somebody that had a real estate deal, want to use the bathroom, right? They didn't want to let them use the bathroom. Then they said they stand there, they loitering. Now again, Starbucks ain't kind of like, if you got Starbucks in your neighborhood, then I know you ain't living where I live at. You don't live where I live at. You live some other way else, right? So you got all them, you understand? You live in other places. But those places, unbeknownst to me, like when I'm working and I can go in there and get some on way to work, but they don't be in my hood. So you know what I'm saying, right? No, I ain't got to spell it all the way out, right? So you know how it is. You always are under suspicion. You are guilty till you're proven innocent, and under the discretion of that who sees you. So they deeming you as some inappropriateness. You are kind of out of place in here. So we kind of run a refuse service to you, though you're not buying them, but we got an open door policy. And everybody pretty much knows that, except for this situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Popo on you and let you deal with them. Now, I'm going to call the cops, get your feet running. That's the old way. You be like, call the cops. You'll see your feet running because the cops coming, right? Because that's a bad situation for us to be in. Somebody call police on us. Kind of like you better not be in a situation with a woman you dealing with. Mama should know better by now, right? Popo is last resort. When everything else done failed and you almost out of breath, Popo should be that call. But anything other than that, because the possibility of a situation that sometimes some people escalate because of being the wrong, and you know how it is, fellas. We be dealing with significant others, and they may turn the thing in another way, because again, sometimes people just can't be wrong, right? You know how it is. And you start throwing them with them daggers, and they get mad, and they know I can put you on 3 hots and a cotton of fat bologna sandwich after I make this phone call. So here they come, right? So now you got to deal with it. So that's the same thing with these situations with these people. They be looking at it too. Like they try to do it in disguise in the fact that I'm working, and your encumbrance on the privilege that we're allowing you. So I have under my discretion, I'm going to hit the phone up and let you deal with the authorities. Now, hopefully I should get a soldier of my race up in here, and he may go ahead and put that buckskin up on my wall. Y'all thought about that? I'm fucking be, back in the them days, might have been some Negroes on a wall somewhere. Ancestors. So anyway, so here it is. Call the Popo. He already done broke out. Now I guess they must have came and follow up on him, and then they said they came up with him talking about they gonna give him a trespassing ticket. Now I'm sitting here like, hold on, and let me before I go back, because I got to go back about them brothers in Philadelphia. Now after they went through that whole ordeal, and everything by seeing it was a big viral situation. They did something a little commendable, but I'm like no. More than that. So he got a $200,000 some kind of fund for people to come there, and they can use this for somehow they can get into some kind of some better entrepreneurship. But $200,000, think about what a college education is, right? Break that down, right? Think about that. You ain't really stick them in a $1 settlement. See, sometimes when you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. When it's handed to you, you take it. Do I need to say that again? If they gonna hand it to you, you take it. Just like my man finna do, right? He tested. He put his foot in the water. Let me see if I come up in here and see if they gonna pull that mess. He had corporate number already ready to call, huh? Peep them Smitties, right? He already seen what was in. So they fell for the trap on the cheese, didn't they? Oh. So again, it's hearsay. He said, "But hope there ain't no camera that don't catch that, right? That everything he done said that was on the outside. Unless no camera, and if camera doing to catch it, then he gonna get burned up. But if not, he finna catch that one, and they finna lose their job, right? But the problem is, you have to look at yourself and say, why did the cops give him a ticket? Trespassing, right? Well, I got my old Black Laws Dictionary right in front of me. So it says trespassing is an unlawful interference with one's person's property or right. In common law, trespass was a form of action brought to recover damages for any injury to one person or property or relationship with another. Any unauthorized intrusion or invasion of private premise or land of another. Now, there's more to this now. Now, I'm just thinking about that. Now, an employee don't own nothing, right? Yeah, okay, so let's go on. Let's read a little bit more of that. Doing an unlawful act or lawful act in unlawful manner to injury of another person or property. Nobody said nobody swung, right? He was in the bathroom. I don't see no confrontation. Okay, let's move on. An unlawful act committed with violence, actual or implied. So maybe somebody's like, they was threatened because they kept saying, he's a big black guy. That's threat in itself. You swole all up naturally, right? It's already implied as a threat. They call the police on you just than that. I was fearful of my life because big buck Negro there, right? I guess, okay, so try using that, right? It comprehends not only forcible wrongs, but also acts the consequence of which makes them torturous. It says continuing trespass, one which is in the nature a permanent invasion of the right of another. I don't think that's it. As where a person builds on his own land so that a part of the building overhangs his neighbor's land or dumps rubbish on the land of another. In such a case, there is continuing wrong so long as the offending object remains. That's not it. Trespass may be committed by the continued presence of the land of a structure, chattel, or other thing which the actor or his predecessor is legal interest has placed on the land. That's not it. With the consent of the person then in possession of the land, if the actor fails to remove it after the consent has been effectively terminated, maybe that could be it. We told you to leave, but you wouldn't leave. That's what they said, but accordingly, I don't think that the story said they caught him there. They gave him a ticket, but didn't say it was in the place. But he said he left. So there's a contradictory in the story on the aspect either he left or they gave it to him outside, which he was no longer on the premise. So why couldn't the brother had just been told what happened? All right, let's put ourselves, you know how we all right, I'm the cop. Hey, what you doing all that, man? Huh? What's going on, man? I think you know the Starbucks. So in my mind, I'm like, that Starbucks. I thought that. First thing is a cop, you should have been Starbucks. Negro? Let's see what this about. Let me hear his side of the story. You know what it was? Oh, that's a really big Negro there. Yeah, he probably was hovering. And we don't know who was the damsel in distress saying what she was saying and what she did say, right? So we're going to give you this trespassing ticket. Trespassing in a public place. That policy a year ago said it had already had an open door to everybody, but we're going to reinforce it, close down all of it. We're going to give you the whole workshop to know how this. We don't care if he looks homeless. We don't care if he's stinking up the whole store. You let him sit in there, right? We don't care about all that. But no, not this one. So guess what? Take it. Take it. Remember Screwface? Take it. Take it. Take that money. And if they lose the job, then so, that's on them. You fell for the cheese on the trap. So now they trying to snuff this story out. And again, it's Florida. Florida got some funny stuff going up in Florida, though. I'll tell you that one thing. Or down in Florida, right? So anyway, let me move on. Enough of that. But we're going to see that's going to continue on because, again, he's filing the lawsuit. And again, it just kind of goes back to show that the history here about us trying to be in places that people don't want. And we're just going to have to just realize that sometimes the law may say one thing, But people, if you had a business, you don't have the right to say what you don't want. Like, say, Chick-fil-A had an issue with people of a different sexual preference, right? Right? That's his preference, right? And now, is that discriminatory? Yes. So you just deal in the court way, right? But, forcing people, again, if you're going to try to use religion as something to be real, then people have been programmed that the word of God says this and that this is against God, and then you go say, I got. So, see, that's why a lot of people confused, right? You don't know where you're coming or going, right? Now, I'm not saying I advocate that, but I'm just saying. So when people have places and they want to, kind of prohibit you from being in there, like I told the brother that was at the Gucci didn't want to sell to him, I think they had the discretion to do that, but what is the reason for it? But legally, they say you can't do that, and so there's some ramification that can come with it. Again, you just take that. If they're going to give it to you, take it. Don't fight it. Oh, man, let me go ahead and get that spare change. Remember, Half Baked was like, spare change? Don't mind if I do. I don't mind if I do. So that's what you do. You take it. They going to give it to you. You take it. So let's go ahead. I got another story here. This one a little bit more serious, right? This one is a lot more serious because this one here is the kind of stuff that happens to a lot of our brothers in situations where it's like it ruins them. I got a personal story myself, but let me go ahead and play this first for y'all. All right, let me play this first. Hold on. And, go ahead. And matter of fact, let me see before I go here. Let me see some couple messages out here. Let me see if I got some people out here talking. If not, I got a couple people in the house. All right, so it says, let's see who I got up here. I say, okay, prayer says thus happen. All right, Night Killer says, thus happen all the time. Night Killer also says, I won't go into a Starbucks without a white girl. You playing with a two-edged sword, ain't you, huh? You playing with two sides of the sword, huh? Out of breath, I can't breathe. Oh, well, I'm going there. You know that's on deck, right? Okay. Florida this week been crazy. Last week, too. Oh, yeah, I guess they've been in the news, going a lot of stuff going on, right? Well, check this one out. I'll be right back, y'all.
The men known as the Central Park Five and director Ava DuVernay
I've never seen that five of you.
reconnecting in New York at the end of an emotional journey. Together, turning a real story of stolen youth and wrongful conviction into a dramatic Netflix series called When They See Us.
They saw you rape the lady.
I didn't see a lady or hit anyone.
I didn't see any lady.
Kevin.
I didn't see any lady.
Explain the title.
I really became allergic to the idea of calling it Central Park 5. They were given this name by the press, by political forces, and it really takes away their personal power. When they see us, it humanizes them.
John, these police will mess us up. They're not playing. They're not.
Before a white female jogger was beaten and raped in New York Central Park in 1989, they were just 5 teenagers from Harlem: Yusuf Salam, Antron McCrae, Kevin Richardson, Corey Wise, and Raymond Santana. But soon after the horrific crime, they were arrested and quickly branded the Central Park Five.
This whole process was surreal, just to see like our life story portrayed and to still be relevant 30 years later.
Is my mom here? It's just us. You and us.
Convicted on what they always maintained were coerced confessions, each was sentenced to years behind bars.
Corey, what was it like for you to watch those scenes of your incarceration? Was it difficult?
It was. Still is, but it was.
Their convictions were vacated in 2002 after another man confessed to the attack. His DNA a match. The Central Park Five were awarded $41 million in a settlement with the city of New York.
We didn't get an apology, all the time we did for something we didn't do, and it hurts.
We have this indelible scar of, that's, Kevin Richardson, the guy from the Central Park jogger case.
The Wilding case.
The Wilding case.
So nothing makes that right.
Nothing. And it's 30 years later, and we are the proof that when you damage kids as young as 14, 15, and 16 years old for a period of 14 and a half years, right, and beyond, how do you fix that?
Their story, now a passion project for this celebrated director.
So I really wanted to show how one comes out dealing with kind of being half a citizen and how this was put upon these boys for a crime they didn't commit.
And for the men who lived it, validation.
A series like this paints the picture of what it is like to be a person of color in America, for what we went through and what it represents for the rest of the world is tremendous.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
The Central Park Five speaks. You know I'm going to say that again. The Central Park Five speaks. This story was done May the 12th, 2019, coming from the CBS News, and this is how it reads. Yusef Salaam, Antron McCray, Raymond Santana, Corey Wise, Kevin Richardson. 5 men connected in a way few of us could ever imagine. Santana said there is never a time when he doesn't think about the episode that brought them together. It's every day, constantly. Salam said that every day is probably my second or third thought. Probably like my fourth thought, said McCray. Even our conversation is different. It's not normal. Our conversation would be about prison, how we had to survive in prison. They are known as the Central Park Five, a name that came to be shared 30 years ago after a young white woman named Tricia Milley went for a jog in New York Central Park. The 28-year-old woman was found by 2 passerbyers, viciously battered and unconscious. She had been dragged into the bushes near an area called The Lock, beaten and sexually assaulted. In a city traumatized by crime, the attack was an outrage and became a media sensation. Investigators quickly focused on a group of black and Hispanic boys who were in the park that night. Media reports described them as a wolf pack who had committed muggings. Police arrest 5 teenagers, charging them with attempt murder, rape, and assault. Salam, McCray, Richardson, Wise, and Santana were tried, convicted, and imprisoned for the crime they maintain they did not do. The story of how the boys were charged and years later cleared of that notorious crime is the subject of a new Netflix miniseries by the Oscar-nominated writer-director Ava DuVernay called When They See Us. My goal was to humanize boys, and now men, who are widely regarded as criminals, says DuVernay. And in doing that, to invite the audience to a reinterrogated everyone, or to reinterrogate everyone that they defined as a criminal. DuVernay contends that what is seen all too often in criminal cases is race. I'm asking the question to everyone, what do you see when you see black boys? And that's a painful answer, because I know what the answer is for many people. It's exactly what these boys were called: wolf packs, animals, criminals. So much so that they could be tossed aside on a case that was made from a complete lie. In the series, as in life, only 2 of the 5 teenagers even knew each other. But during interrogation, they said police coerced them to create stories implicating one another. The 2 men who lived through it say the reality was even worse. Salam said, soon as we get in, they separated us, they started working on us, and I'm hearing Corey being physically beaten in the next room. And I'm immediately beyond afraid. Richardson said, at the time, my mom, she suffered from a stroke, she had diabetes, and she left. And that was their time to get on me. And what happened, asked correspondent Maurice Dubois, what didn't happen? We're 14, 15, and 16-year-old kids, said Santana. Never been in trouble with the law, never had no police contact. These are seasoned veterans. This fight was fixed. McCrae said he was interrogated for more than 10 hours. I just kept telling the truth at first. They asked to speak to my father. My father left the room with them, came back in the room. He just changed, cursing, yelling at me, and said, tell these people what they want to hear so you can go home. I'm like, Dad, but I didn't do anything. Police is yelling at me. My father yelling at me. And I just like, all right, I did it. And I looked up to my father. He is my hero. But he gave up on me. You know, I was telling the truth, and he just told me to lie. The boys asked, did you ever make peace with your father? No, didn't want to. My life was ruined. Why should I? He's a coward. None of the 5 ever admitted to committing the rape, but they did confess to being there. They blamed each other, damning omissions, even in the absence of physical presence. As CBS Evening News reported at the time, there was no blood on their clothing. There was no match for semen. The DNA test came back negative. Nothing linked the boys to the crime. At trial, all were found guilty. 4 of the 5 served about 7-year sentences as juveniles, refusing early parole because it required admitting guilt. But the oldest of the group, Corey Wise, served time as an adult. In his 13th year in prison, Wise had a chance encounter with another inmate that would change the lives of all the men convicted of rape of Tricia Millelli. The resolution of this whole tragedy came from something that I don't believe was happenstance, says DuVernay. It's a coincidence that borders on miracle. Matias Reyes spotted Wise in a prison yard, and the 2 began talking. Wow, you still here after all these years? Wise recalled being told, I guess so. The 2 had met years before, and Reyes began to feel guilty that Wise was still in prison for a crime he himself had committed. Said Salam, he saw Corey and was like, he's still here? I gotta tell the truth. Reyes confessed that he alone had committed the rape, offering details about the crime that only the assailant would know. His DNA was a match, and the Central Park 5 were exonerated. The city of New York eventually agreed to a $41 million settlement, about $1 million for each year of imprisonment. Central Park rape conviction tossed. Du Bois asked, did the money make it better? We were able to relocate, put our children in better situations, said Santana, but besides that, no. Salam added, no amount of money could have given us our time back. With the release of When They See Us, the men who were the Central Park Five embraced the attention and dialogue they hope their case will bring to crime, punishment, and race. Du Bois asked, is there a life lesson for what you've been through? Truth, McCrae replied, I preach to my kids, just tell the truth. Be true to who you are. Honestly, the last time I lied got me 7.5 years for something I didn't do. All right, so Central Park 5, right? And we see that Yusef Salam, Antron McCrae, Raymond Santana, Corey Wise, and Kevin Richard. These were the 5 young boys at that time, ranging from the ages of 14 through 16. And they were accused of raping Tricia McMelly, right? And again, it's kind of strange that as the story tells, and again, this was big news back at that time when this took place. And again, this didn't happen over 30 years ago. And what we see is that, that again, we as black men in this nation, again, the stigmatization of always being in the eyes of something that we always up to something. We always under suspicious or suspicion, right? Matter of fact, it's if it's more than 3 or 4 of us, we congregating is a crime, right? Right? It can't be more than 2 of us in the car, right? Or we up to something, right? And so here it was a situation again. We don't say that what happened to Tricia Minnelli didn't happen, because we know it did happen, as the story ended up telling later, that she had been jogging and somebody took advantage of the situation and raped her, right? And so somehow I don't understand how they picked up the 5 if she did not, and it didn't disclose that, and I don't remember that being said. Did she say it was 5 that this took place, right? And so with that being said, there was actually DNA evidence at that particular time. So that was they was exonerated just on that alone, right? The problem was by bringing them interrogating, what ended up happening is, it wasn't like they all knew each other. Again, according to the story, it says 2 out of the 5 knew each other, but the rest of them was somebody random. And so here you in a situation and people are saying that you are being placed, and this one is saying that, those who, you've been in them, you know how they do, right? So they spinning and turning and, and saying all kind of stuff, and, you brand new to this, you scared, you know what I'm saying? You hear stories, right? You're like, man, I'm actually about to be put up in there? So, but the crazy part was that, the parent, like one parent, due to the conditions she was going through, diabetes and so forth. But again, what can you do in that situation? If you don't have, bail money, right? You can't afford to have an attorney, right? Then you kind of at the whims of the process, right? Depending on who is that is apprehending you and what kind of motive they got and what kind of grandiose idea they have to try to elevate themselves to get in certain positions, sergeant, captain. You understand? Because that's basically what the police system is a merit system. The more arrests puts you on, the path to getting to stripes on your coat, right? And so that's why, when you have a merited system like that, that's why there's a lot of possibilities of having people wrongfully incarcerated. I mean, everybody, you have people becoming state's attorney, becoming judges, right? They will run for political. All that is based on who? Who's the cannon fodder to your success? It'd be us. So a lot of times we don't be doing anything wrong. We just be congregating. Something could have really happened, but you didn't catch them. But it says like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, right? Anyone would do, right? And so we see this has been a persistent thing in history, and a lot of stuff that has not been put in forth, that a lot of us know people, if not yourself, know how this game has been played. But we always making it up. It's always we're playing the race card, right? So we see that these young boys end up getting convicted, 5 of them. Matter of fact, the president that we have right now was one of the biggest advocates for that. You know, that was to get them incarcerated. Man, a lot of people kind of talked about that going back, you know, kind of has been under the rug now. And what we see now is that the only way that this end up being revealed is because the individual who was the one who did it was already locked up. You know, sight through the kite, he heard through the grapevine that he knew that you was tied up in it. And in the beginning, okay, well, that's a case I ain't got to deal with. But as time went on, and he still seeing my man there, he started to feel some remorse in his heart. Man, that ain't right, man. That man, you know what I'm saying? So he tell him. And if it wasn't for that, they still be what? They still doing the bid, right? So, yes, you offer them, I think it was was it 41 million? The split between the 5 of them. Right? So about 8 million each, 8 million, somebody beside, right? 8 million piece. But you can't take back the time. The money is good. It's kind of like we talking about with reparation. The money good, but you can't, the line's been destroyed. I'll give you a personal story. I remember one time, you know how we is. We got our boys, right? You know, we go hoop, right? We playing some ball. And my man been with me all day. Me and him, his brother, you know, and so forth. We all day. Now again, I don't know what happened before that day, but we know we out there, we hooping. We see 2 white dudes sneaking up there. We kind of, everybody run up, grab my boy, tackle him right now. We about to jump him. We 5-0, right? Okay. What's up, my man? You know what I'm saying? Some white women done said that he done woo. Like, damn. He was with us all day and all night. What are you talking about? So, yeah, he didn't do that. Man was just about to graduate up out of high school. Did the bid. You understand? Life was never the same for him. Never knew with the potential he had, because he had some potential. But that never got fruition for the simple fact that he got railroaded due to the simple fact that somebody accused him and any, meeny, miny, mo was good enough. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story with myself. One time, me and my boy, we kicking it. We walking down the street. Popo pull up. Hey, let me talk to y'all. What are you talking about, man? Get in the back seat. What are you talking about? Get in the back seat, man. What? We got somebody to identify something that happened around here. We're to see if this wasn't y'all. We know we ain't done shit. Come on, go get in the motherfucker. We get in the motherfucker. We go there, pull up by the train station. 2 white women look in the back seat, look at him, look at me. No, that's not them. That's how close Mr. Blows Your Mind came to get one of them cases, him dancing. Because all they had to say is, that's them. You understand? That's him. That's them. And we'd have been burned up. We'd have been fighting the case. No damn well, we ain't had nothing to do with that. So how prevalent is those type of things happening to us around the world globally for years, unbeknownst to this world? So every time the Creator always give us that one. And so when we present it, people get mad and say we always playing race. But it is what it is. It's not us. We the victims in this. I know a lot of people don't want to be the victims. But it is what it is, right? Matter of fact, I think I got a message from a brother in here. He might be still in here. Random Thought says, And Views commented, he said, we already know the routines when police is on trial for killing one of us is he gets rewarded with a GoFundMe and gets all charges dropped. We're very used to the American justice system when it might be a little bit more to it, and I want to click it because I'm going to click off this off. But I appreciate your comment if you still should be in here. Random thoughts. So, again, so Netflix decided that you see the sister that's decided that Ava Varney says she's going to go ahead and put this out, hoping that she can try to change the minds and hearts of people from the perspective to how they look at our young men and out here on these streets. So will that stop the persistence of that, which again is the one that's actually doing the arresting? Those who doing the accusations? And we just have to sit out and wait to see what's going to manifest, right? In between time, we'll still be getting numbers with still more and then just trying to pay out. But you done ruined the lives, is what the end result becomes. You ruined the lives. And so, these brothers here can actually do some great in the sense that their story is very kind of common. Now, it may not be in the sense of just the fact of raping somebody. It could be other things, not just raping. It could be the simple fact that you could be, again, say that we done seen stories where, people driving, reaching to get their license and, or saying that you did this and you didn't do this, resisting arrest and all kind of things and changing lanes and kill yourself in the jail cell, right? So it's just the abundance of stories make it, that's why people are getting to the point that they don't want to hear us talk no more, right? They don't want to hear this because they're saying we're blaming. Well, we can't blame if this is not factual. If this ain't facts, then I'm making it up. But if it's facts, it is what it is. It's just what it is, right? So anyway, I want to give something out for them for the Central Park 5. The Netflix is coming out eventually soon. And then for those who didn't know that story was out, there you go for it, right? So let's get a move on. Got a couple more things to do. And since we're talking about that and about the injustice of this, now check this one out, right? Oh, man, check this out. Let's see. I'm not sure what is this here. It should be this, this. Right? It should be this and this. And I'm not sure what should I see. Let's see. Hopefully this is the right one. If not, I will stop it if it's not the right one. So let me go ahead and play this for y'all right quick and be right back.
No, we ain't gonna stop till our people are free. I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe.
But these are just tears from heaven. Eric is crying from heaven because he see his mother and his family out here still trying to fight for justice for him. It's been 5 years. 5 years we've been on the front line trying to get justice, and they're still trying to sweep it under the rug. As Lord has said, they only have one officer on the agenda. We need all the officers who killed my son that day. We all seen the video. We all sit and watch him being murdered. Not nationally, but worldwide. We've seen this. And they're still playing games. They was trying to cancel this trial right up to the very moment. Right. That's the games that Stu London is playing.
A departmental trial now underway for NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo. He is accused of using a chokehold on Eric Garner, who later died on Staten Island in 2014. This is being prosecuted by the Civilian Complaint Review Board. And CBSN New York's Jenna DeAngelis is at One Police Plaza with more on this.
It started with opening arguments this morning, which were focused on the video recorded of the incident that day and whether or not Officer Pantaleo used a prohibited chokehold. Throughout the trial, we're expected to hear from witnesses, including the man that recorded that notorious video. The mother of Eric Garner holds an umbrella to shield her from the rain, which matches her mood walking into police headquarters this morning.
I feel like the weather's dreary.
Nearly 5 years after her son's death, the departmental disciplinary trial begins for New York City police officer Daniel Pantaleo, who's accused of using a banned chokehold on Garner while attempting to arrest him for selling loose cigarettes. A grand jury declined to indict Pantaleo on criminal charges. He's been on desk duty since the 2014 incident. Today is the start of deciding his future with the NYPD.
We are just looking for justice, and we hope that this departmental trial proves to be in our favor.
I'll settle for him losing his job, losing his pension, and, being held accountable for what he did.
The New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board, a police oversight agency, is prosecuting Pantaleo. If he's found to have violated department rules regarding the reckless and intentional use of a chokehold, he could be fired. Pantaleo's attorney remains positive heading into the trial. This video of the incident has become the centerpiece of the case against Officer Pantaleo. This morning, a man stood holding an image from that video, and protesters blocked the FDR with their own signs reading #Fire Pantaleo. Before walking inside, Garner's sister had a message for the officer.
We're just hoping for the best, that the right thing happened.
The NYPD trial judge will make a ruling after about 2 weeks of trial and pass it on to the police commissioner, who has the final say on punishment, which could range from lost vacation days to termination. Outside police headquarters, Jenna DeAngelis, CBSN, New York.
99-year-old veteran finally walks at college graduation, 70 years after earning degree. Lawyer, NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo, a scapegoat in Eric Garner's death. You know I'm going to say that again. Lawyer, New York Police Department officer Daniel Pantaleo, a scapegoat in Eric Garner's death. This story was done May the 13th, 2019, coming from the USA Today. This is how it reads. The lawyer for New York police officer Daniel Pantaleo said Monday that his client has become a political scapegoat for the chaotic 2014 arrest of Eric Garner, a black man whose death that day ignited a series of sometimes violent Black Lives Matter protests across the nation. Family members of Garner, however, wept as video of the arrest was shown at the first day of a disciplinary hearing for Pantaleo, 33. If an NYPD judge determines his actions rose to a criminal level, Pantaleo could face punishment ranging from the loss of some vacation days to firing. Pantaleo, who is white, denies wrongdoing. Months after the arrest, a Staten Island jury declined to indict Pantaleo, a decision that also set off angry demonstrations. Garner, 43, was accused of selling single cigarettes outside a store on Staten Island when multiple officers attempt to arrest him. In the ensuing imbroglio, Pantaleo is seen on video tumbling to the ground while holding Garner in the head or neck area as other officers leaped into the fray. Garner repeatedly said, "I can't breathe," during the arrest, and the phrase became a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. The city medical examiner cited the cause of death as compression of neck, which is chokehold, compression of the chest, and prone positioning during physical restraint by police. Pantaleo lawyer Stuart London and the police union have reportedly denied that Pantaleo used a chokehold maneuver banned by the NYPD. We know he, Garner, wasn't choked out because he is speaking, London said at the hearing. The city paid a $5.9 million civil settlement to Garner's family. Pantaleo has been assigned to administrative duties since Garner's death. In 2017, the city's Civilian Complaint Review Board determined Pantaleo used excessive force. The U.S. Justice Department also has been conducting an investigation into Garner's death. Mayor Bill de Blasio, asked about the case last week, was non-committal. It's not my place to pass judgment. It's a full trial that's needed to take place, and once and for all have closure on this case, de Blasio said on the Brian Lara show. We owe it to the people of the city and the Garner family to get whatever resolution a court proceeding brings. All right. I want to say what's good to my brother out there, Bernard Thomas. What's good, brother? That's one brother that kept it going. That brother was pumping the videos. A lot of stuff I was already seeing, brother. That's why I didn't say too much. I didn't want you to know that I was coming back. But good to see you, and I'm glad to see you here, brother. And you're laughing, right? I see Marcus L. says, get out of America is the only solution. Political asylum for who? Or from who, right? Where we going to get that from? You right about that. Everybody talking about something running off somewhere. We're not running. It's one world government. It's all it's connected, right? That's what technology do. Bernard Thomas says, where are we going to? Where we going to go? Remember, they found us here in 1492. Night Killer says 40 acres and a mule. Even with that being said, you're still encapsulated. You know, it's kind of like, that old Christmas gift. You had the snow and they shake it up. You on the outside, you the one shaking it, and then the little city or whatever's in there, you in that. Right? No matter if you get your 40 acres of mule, you still inside and they can shake it up, make it snow, make it, tear your whole world up. So, right? Okay. The conversation that y'all talking about cannot be had openly. Just remember that. You can't have that real conversation open like this. So just keep that in mind. So what we see here, we see that, what's crazy about this, man. What is so crazy is the fact that his 5 years since, Eric Garner got choked out, that we all seen a viral video. Matter of fact, they even locked up the brother that had videotaped the scene. Remember that? He had to go through the whole process too. It's kind of like the same thing they did when was Michael Brown. Remember the brother that was with him? They ended up locking him up, right? Remember that? He was there talking about he lied in the testimony, so it was his word, and then they had discredit, anything, right? Because let's just look at this, right? So you see Eric Garner's mama. She's still, again, you lost the daughter. Remember, the daughter just passed back, I think, in December 2017, right? I think it was 2017. The daughter had passed, right? She was out here fighting. Erica Garner is her name, right? And she was fighting for her father, for the justice of what had transpired, right? And that's commendable. Families are still, the injustice is having to go. Keep that fire. Don't let that memory go away like that, right? And so here's the mother to carry the burden, and she's trying to do the best she can. Again, some people may laugh and chuckle about some of the stuff. Again, they're singing a song, kind of doing what they can do, right? Under the auspice of the situation you are in, trying to do the best you can of what you know and know how to do, and may not have there was some money given. But again, that's not, so that's like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Right? That ain't doing nothing. You can't bring back the individual, right? And it's caused so much irreparable damage to emotional and scars of the family. And here it is. This the kick in the head. This the kick in the head. You see, I read the story with talking about the lawyer. Says the NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo. I say Leo. He say Leo. Like, he's a scapegoat, right? They say he's the scapegoat. Wait a minute. We talking about scapegoat. Did we or did we not see him choking him out? So he's not a scapegoat. Now, again, the mother was saying they want everybody to be on having some culpability about what transpired with Eric Garner. Not just this cat, because that was obvious him. Of course, he's obvious. So we look back at 2014, again, Eric Garner. And we see that he's being accosted by, this Virgilio, and then we get the Panther. So I guess both of them Italians, huh? Now, we understand the history with Italians and how they look at things. All you got to do is go watch some of them damn Italian movies. They be saying, oh, nigga, what they said about Samuel Jackson, and what was that movie, Casino? Well, what he said, yeah, niggas, how niggas get caught? They fall asleep at the truck. Stick up man they fall asleep in the truck. You remember that shit, right? See, they always got these negative things to say about us, right? And they didn't really never liked us. They really don't like us, right? So here it is, they cops. Now, let's look at sets of again. Let's put yourself in the shoes of a cop. You got so much, again, you're Staten Island. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of crimes. There's other things that could be with more concern than I see somebody hustling, selling Lucy's. Right? Think about this. Are you stealing the cigarettes, then trying to sell them? Or you buying the cigarettes and doing like most bodega corner stores that where we live in do anyway? Oh, it's because you get taxes from them and you get straight money with no tax. So that's what the same thing with this marijuana, right? It's illegal as long as there ain't no taxes being given. But the minute you can put some taxes, we're going to let you all smoke it. You can smoke it now. We're going to give you all the dispensary. We're going to put all the niggas that's on the corner selling it, we're going to put them out of business because we're going to give you Maui Wowie. We're going to give you Purple Haze. We're going to give you everything that they can't give you, that you come in here, get this card, and we're going to get all the money. See? Put your ass out of business. Right? So here he is. He got a little hustle going on. Sell some Lucy's, right? 1/4, you know what it is, right? Now, again, you the police, you see my man doing that. Maybe you done told him before about doing that. But it got to be more personal than that. You understand? It can't be just some Lucy's and they get to this, or we're arresting you resisting. Ain't no just man going from here, you in front of this store selling and he don't like that. Right? Yeah. Right? It's a common way to just dealing with certain situations. But no. See, this is what some people do. People got jobs that hide behind their dirty work. I'm going to say that again. People have jobs and they'll hide behind the job and do their dirty work. And then they say, I'm only doing my job. Okay. You say what you say. But again, my thing is the inevitable. We all got to taste that expiration date. And if we should believe that there is something greater than all of us that had made all of this, when you tell that story, the face is going to look at you like, who you talking to, boy? Who you think? You think I'm brand new? Right? So here's somebody who got some personal with you and using this as, the foot in the door to keep it from closing. Otherwise, I can't mess with you. Loose cigarettes. You lost your life for loose cigarettes. And MMA, you're doing all this training, right? Because naturally, I don't know if it just go toe, man up. If motherfucking got all this training, practicing, shooting and all that, and had to come up straight up man on with it, I don't think y'all getting us. So you're going to have to do all this preparing, fighting, training, do all that, and that still might not do it. You understand? May not work. Because there's some other things, foreseen spirits and things that we know that's connected. Because we still here. We the eighth wonders of the world. How these niggas still here? We doing everything to try to get rid of them. And they still here. Right? So here it is, you situation. My man choking them out. Right? Over. Yeah, he might have been bigger than you. But see, that's that thing. Remember I was just talking about that with Starbucks. Big black. There's a big black guy. That in itself. And they will, in their eyes and mind, that's justified enough. That's a threat because you're such big. You're intimidating me. Just your presence. So my thing is, based on the minoreness of that situation, how is it that those other ones that was culpable into causing his death. And how is it that this is not criminally? I'm going to say that again. How is it due to the minor reasons of you accosting him? Yes, you could say Lucy and yes, you could play that game. We know that's bullshit. We know that's bull. And it caused the death of an individual due to the wrong way of handling and over-exerting excessive force, causing the life. And this lawyer says, well, you're using him as a scapegoat. No, we seen it. We all seen it. But the thing is, you sitting here in black folks' face, talk about trial that this Daniel Pantaleo is on about vacation, losing his vacation, ain't letting he gonna get fired. What? What? This is what you reporting about? That's a slap in the face. That is such ridiculous to the fact that I don't know how y'all even look at us in the face with a straight face. He on trial about whether he gonna keep his job and lose his vacation time. Not that you killed this man. We ain't gonna try to, see whether it was justified in the whole process. No, you just gonna be fired or lose a job. So the lawyer said, "Oh, we feel confident." Yeah, he ain't going to jail. So whether he loses a job, he still keep his life. Damn, boy, people funny, man. They real funny. It's just what it is. It's funny people, man. So the city paid him $5.9 million civil settlement, right? And then they said that Pantaleo was assigned to administrative duty since his death. And all Bill de Blasio says that it's not his place to do judgment, that the full trial, see? Full trial, that's a mock trial. That's nonsense trial. If we did anything like that, you ain't going to be handled. Well, we're not going to prosecute. We're going to just do it. You ain't going to do that with us. Just blatant in our face like we just don't know no better. On trial for what? This is just really, this is like an administrative, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like get your job and you get rolled up. You got to go into the human resource. And then you going in there with the person who got it and you in there trying to defend yourself as to whether, you know what I'm saying, you being fired or you just going to get rolled up. That's what this is. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Says, Bernard Thomas says, likewise, brother. Says, Show Globe, a.k.a. Harp. Yep, daughter was 27, says, from heart attack, they say. Godfather 2, huh? You see that Vlad interview with, I seen that too. Matter of fact, you know what's funny is, Bernard? You be sending me stuff out there and I had already seen it. And I be laughing like, I beat you to it. But that Bible one, you got me there. I was like, okay, I didn't see that one yet. Okay, you got me. And matter of fact, I played that yesterday. All right, so if you didn't see it, you go check that out. I talked about that one. So again, man, on the daily, man, what it is to be us living under the daily, just the dailiness of somebody else's fuckness. That's just what it is, right? They act as if like they, mama ain't doing stuff, but we don't want to constantly up under it. So, you can play that game and pretend and say, okay. We know this can't. We hold self-evident in our being. This ain't it. This ain't it. This can't be it. We know this can't be it. And as I said yesterday, okay, we from the beginning, and we shall be in the end. Whatever that number be, we will have the numbers then. You might got the way you fix it up now, you're the majority, we the minority. But on that other side, ain't gonna never outnumber. Ain't gonna never outnumber. Anyway, moving on. I think I got one more left. Right? And this one here is just basically what it is, self-explanatory. I would put the poll out there. Anybody want to call in? Because I can let you call in if you want to call in now, Because after this one, let this play out. I'm just going to go and ride it out. Should have been already up. I should have been on much earlier. Tried to, but it didn't get it off. So, let's see. Anybody see? Uh-oh. Let's see. He need to die too, huh? Yeah, I guess so. You're right, Killer, but, I guess eventually everybody got an expiration date, so I guess if it don't be rendered in that way, some people, they talk about certain people say, how they walking around, nobody ain't done nothing. I guess some things, let's put it this way. If you believe in the Creator, right? And then they say some people seem to be able to walk around and do everything and nobody get to touch it. Maybe because you know how it's like, I got this. Let me have it. You know what I'm saying? You might be looking at, man, mother just getting away with everything. Maybe because somebody said, I got this. I got it. See, so like I told you the other day, when they talking about the all switch and they said all the people that they had killed, the 6 million people. Now all the people that helped that, supposedly that we gonna, everybody gonna go with that, whatever the whole history that was said. If that being said, they went first, and all them that helped put them and did that, where we at 2019, most of them there now, right? So you gonna go eventually, right? You don't get to outlast it. Now I know they working day and night trying to have the. I got a call. Who this? Who that? Let me try to see who that is. Now let's see who this is. I know thinking who this is. Let me see who this is. All right. Let's see there, sir. How you doing? Who are you and where you calling from?
Yes, brother. You already know. Same move.
Okay. All right. What it is, man? How you feeling today, brother? Is this Night Killer 22?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me put you on the big speaker here. Can you still hear me? Let's see. I'll put you on the big speaker. I can hear. Yeah, I got you on the big. Tell me if it's a feedback.
No, I don't hear no feedback.
All right, cause see, I got you on. I can hear y'all good on this. All right. So what's good, brother? What you want to talk about? Anything you seen on the show?
Yeah, man. I was watching the show, I was reading the comments. It's a good show, Just out here talking. I was just listening, man. It's a whole lot, man. Whole lot going on out here.
Always,
That's
right?
crazy about the five, not the Fab Five, the five in New York in the Central Park. That was wild, man.
Okay, yeah, the Central Park Five.
Something like that happened. Yeah, something like that happened recently too. But I didn't know that one was like you said 30 years ago. Right. I mean, how long ago was it? It was 30 years ago?
Yeah, that was 30 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And with the whole restroom thing with the Starbucks, bro, I could man, that shit happens all the time, bro. Like me, I can't, bro. I can't go into those places, but say it's me and a whole bunch of you know what I'm saying, my niggas and shit, bro, it's not even a place like McDonald's, bro, like a general, like a general, just a McDonald's. It don't even have to be like a Starbucks. It could just be something like a McDonald's, and you still gonna get them type of situations,
Yeah, but they say we make them up though.
They say we've been making them up. Until they got the cameras now.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of look at it. I look at it as the fact that the cameras, even though they may think that they created all that, but I think that, powers that are beyond what you see implemented that because the time of what we in needed to be revealed, right? Certain things need to be seen because, again, it was being hidden. So it'd be your word versus, again, the system. And people would be, how we be. Let's just say if you driving in a car. When you driving in a car and you get pulled over, let's say you supposed to get a ticket. But when we driving, you'll never just get one ticket. You ever notice
Nah.
you never get one ticket.
Not even if you don't even get one. You don't get one. You don't get one. Like if you go to jail, if they try to arrest you for something, you gonna get 5 different charges.
Right. So they throw enough on you to make something stick.
Exactly. But what I was saying towards the cameras, man, I was looking at what was going on in China, bro. Like, bro, they got China going crazy right now. They building a whole different city, and what they doing with the cameras and all the technology, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You seen some of that shit?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I be showing that the social. Do you see the social credit they was doing? I showed the other day about the social credit they got, which is again they're monitoring and they're having people again. I mean that's what's happening here. That's why you get so many people calling police and stuff. Is because your social credit you can get social credit allows you to get jobs, loans, and if you got a poor one, so you know. They're using it to monitor their people and to put a lot of control. But then you have to look at the fact that China's also buying up everywhere. So they're gonna be implementing. Africa gonna have it. The Caribbean's gonna have it. So you know what I'm saying. And you know they got a lot. They got a lot of foot in this United States when it comes to a lot of money they done gave and put in. So it's like that's gonna come, right? So.
But they said they got cameras that can track people down in less than 10 minutes. They know who you hanging with. They'll know like who you hanging with, which way you walk when you go to work. They know what the type of how you feel and all that, bro. Like they can't commit no crimes, bro. The type of stuff they about to. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's what you think about social media, right? When you look at social media and look at Facebook and Instagram and all that, you know, a lot of people, unbeknownst, again, if you're new into the game. You went in with naivete, right? You came in, you say, you know what? I'm gonna put, you be putting pictures of your people, your family. People be putting on there where they at. You know what I'm saying? All that, man. And Zuckerberg right now, the way they looking, they said this motherfucker's the most powerful motherfucker on the planet because he got all the information to a lot of shit for free. Yeah. You voluntarily gave it to him. He didn't have to buy it from you. You gave it to him. So they have files. There's a place. It's called the Monster. It's up in Utah, and what you just collecting all this data. So basically, everything has to have a profile on you, right? So that's what it's all about, profile. That's what basically Facebook, profile book, right? Profiling you. So basically, just like the same thing, your algorithm on your computer, because of the things that you search, these are the type of advertisement that you get. So they get a bit, when you Amazon and you're ordering when you do all the apps, everybody just, you're not understanding that the profile is being set up. So now with the DNA test, think about this too. Say you don't take the DNA test, but let's say your sister take it, your mother take it, your uncle take it. They ain't got to get yours. They got the people that is most closest to your DNA to say that there's a similarity in theirs, which means it has to be somebody in your family. And people have been voluntarily giving it to you because I'm saying, hey, wait a minute, they can't tell you the family your ass is in. You just going to tell me a location? You just going to tell me, oh, you from Nigeria. But what's my family? What's the name of the family I'm tied to? You can't tell me that. So it's novel. It's have a novelty to it. It's kind of like, a lie detector test. You can take the lie detector test, but it's not admissible in court. But they'll make that, again, get you on Maury Povich, boy. I bet you take that damn DNA test and say, you're not the father. You know what I'm saying? You will take that one. But, but that's just how it is, man. So, I mean, but on the daily, man, it's not against it. Some people say, well, you just constantly trying to berate black people and then you make it white people. No, hey, man, this is our lives. This is how we live. No matter where you go on the bubble, whether you in the North America, South America, in the East, in Europe, it's the same old game. But, we're not supposed to say nothing, right? We're just supposed to be like, it's a figment of your imagination. Nah, the stories are there. That's why I bring them and I read them because, I do intellectual as well. You know that. But what else you got for us, brother? What else you got in here?
Nah, man, I was just calling, man. I seen you came up. I had to.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. It's all good in my book. You always, you know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, he was the very first cat. Wait a minute. No, you came in behind LT. LT might have been the first one. You came in that night, the later night, but I think LT was the very first when I first put the system in. But I appreciate you calling in, though, too, man. But anything else you want to put into the air? And anybody else that want to call out there, the number's in front of you. Number's 262-922-8755. You can ask anything. We talk about anything on this show because that's what we're about. So go ahead, brother.
Hey, man, y'all be good, bro. Like, everybody listening, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Keep striving, you know, to be better.
I know. We gotta remember this show is the most hated show in the Black Corner. Now, some people may say, ain't nobody be watching this show. You can't even get 100 views, man. You don't understand. This show got put in the dead corner for a reason. Go back and remember, a lot of y'all got on this show because you seen the video that got 275,000 in 2 years. They cut it off. You can watch it and the number will change. You can go watch that video every day and that number will never change. Why is that?
For real, the number don't change? Wow.
Yeah, the number will never change. Just like you can go back and watch with the Pope letter to the Pope letter to black people. 51,000, the number will not change anymore. Who's after black people about the hip hop or the music industry won't change. A lot of them been banned. You understand? So I'm telling you, I'm the most hated show on the Black Corner internet. 7 years, and I can't get past 100 views, y'all. But I got 3,000 subscribers. And every time I get to a certain number, it go back down. So that's them doing that. You understand? It is what it is.
That's wild, man.
So that's wild. So I still persevere because, again, those who hear, gon' hear. It ain't about the numbers. It's about the message, period. So, what else in the show, man? What else in the show? Because if nobody else don't call in, then I will. I got one more thing I'm going to end it out with. So, what's good, man?
All right.
Anything else that you seen that was of interest?
I mean, everything you had today was pretty much, you listen, you understand what you're talking about, you know.
Again, we try to be
a lot of that shit. I've been through a lot of that shit anyways, you know, myself too. So.
Right, you know, that's the common bond that we all have. There's a commonness in a lot of stuff that's being related. Is a simple fact because again, this is Black Minds News. Now, again, you can be white.
I done had the police. I done had the police pull their gun at me on everything. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that shit feels, but it's not funny. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Police pulling their gun at you, pointing in your face, all that shit. You know? So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A lot of us done been in situations where it's like.
Lose your life over some stupid
right.
shit.
Over something, right? Again, it just depends on who's the individual that's accosting you. You just can run up on the wrong one, and he feeling very irie, right? And he got an itch, and he wants you to try to scratch it, right? And so, and that's why a lot of people end up losing their lives. So this way, you got to kind of just learn how to tread in a way so that again, the object is to get back. How you leave, go, and come back. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the hardest thing for us because, again, some of us live in environments where it's already inflicted with or, have a lot of stuff going on. So you're going through a war zone and then you get out the war zone, but then you still got, what's some things in the Matrix that was out there trying to get the Nebuchadnezzar the ship, them things chasing your ass too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna holler at you later. I got some shit to show you about your you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I got some shit to show you, but you know what I'm saying, you doing a show tomorrow? You doing shows every day now?
Yeah, I'm trying to come on every day. I didn't come on yesterday because I was preparing for this show today, but we should be having the show tomorrow. I'm trying to get, again, like I said, I've been off of 90, not live, so I'm trying to get it back in and get it right. So, again, I'll either hit you up afterwards, you know what I'm saying, and or you just come on for the show tomorrow, either or.
All right, bet.
All right, peace, and thanks a lot for you calling the Black Minds News. That is Night Killer 22. Say, all right, I'll let that brother get up on. Okay. I missed 4 other calls. Let's see who else. Oh, okay. Who else was up in here? Oh, okay. There was a couple other calls. I had two other calls in the unknown. All right, if you want to call back in now, the one that's 305. I seen a 704 call and a 229. If you still in here, if you want to call, you can. I guess they left up out of here. Okay, they broke camp. All right, so with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody who did show up in tonight and participate and put some stuff in the air. We have Leonard DeYuta was in the house today. We got BJ B-Side 1965. I got the V of Reason. We got Night Killer. Okay, maybe I got somebody else coming in. Hold on one second. Let's see who this is here. All right. 704, what's your name and where you calling from, sir?
Oh, man, this is, man, this is Bernard Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, good to hear your voice, brother.
Yeah,
how you been, man?
Hello?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay, all right. How you doing, brother? How you been?
Man, I've been out here just doing, man, just, you know, I guess it's figurative slaving. You know how that is.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? You got to pick that cotton, right?
Yeah, man, got to do something till here. We get our minds all together on one accord. You know what I mean?
We're gonna need, yeah. I feel you, and man, I want to first and foremost thank you, man. I mean,
I was just calling in, man. You know, just let you hear me. You know, sending all the footage and knowledge that I've been getting from you. Everybody else coming through, you know.
Okay, I appreciate that so much. And man, I want to thank you too, because you kept it going when it was like, when I was sitting out. The reason why I was sitting out is because I knew this day was coming. I didn't want them to try to come up with something before then. But you kept it pumping, brother. And I'm like, I was sitting with my significant other, and she be like, I was like, who that? Like that'd be Bernard. Bernard be pumping it, and like we sit back and we watch it, be like, oh, that was tight. The only reason why some of that I don't put Bernard, what you have to figure out is this. Some of that stuff can't be used because they're banned. That's how they'll ban you. Say if I use anything like movie type stuff like that, if it's news, I can do that, right? Like when you did the Bible, that's why I was like, okay, that one's good. Other stuff is good. It's just that some of that stuff I can't because the way they don't want you to do that. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate you still pumping them though. Keep pumping them though.
Yeah, I know. It's some stuff that don't need to be said. You got to hold them and fold some of them.
Right, exactly, man. So I appreciate that you called. Anything in the show you want to talk about, or you all good?
Oh man, shoot, we can rap a taste all day long with it, man.
You picked the fruit.
I figured out how to make them do the little puppet dance with me. To a certain degree, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I flip everything back on them that they do to me. I do it to them. You know?
Right.
It's like we got to study how they move because they study everything else, but who's studying them? You see what I'm saying? When you the white intelligence, I think I'm the paleontologist.
Put them two together. That's a hell of a combination.
That's a combination. Yeah, that's a hell of a history channel right there.
Exactly. Like I said, brother, if you want, like I said, that brother that called before you, that Night Killer 22, you, him, like I said, get a couple of us brothers on these panels. Like I said, we can bring some topics to it. Again, I'm trying to get the show back on. Once I get it back on, and they kind of let me do what I do, with the numbers will come, and we can have this kind of talk, because I think this day and age and where we at right now, a lot of people need this kind of information because a lot of this is lost. A lot of people are scared to talk that. You know that. I know you know that. You probably the only, you know what I'm saying? You talking mubby, you looking around like, man, you going to get us in trouble talking like that. You know what I mean? So like you say, you give it to them, you dish it, you give it to them. So yeah, we need soldiers out here like that, again, it is, like you said, it's going to be more than just getting our heads together, brother. It's going to be more than that. Because motherfuckers is really coming at us, and that's just real talk.
Yeah. You seen about that abortion bill, Georgia did it, Alabama doing it. You know what they doing to get their numbers back up.
Yep.
They ain't for us.
Yeah.
They ain't for our people.
Exactly.
That's for them.
Exactly. Well, that goes back to that video that I did back in 2012 or 13. That was the white extinction, and that was about them.
Yeah.
That's why they put me in the corner, because see, I told something that nobody was looking at that time. And so now it being 5-6 years later, I had toe for toe, and this is where all this is coming from, right? This is why they doing, like you saying, the bill is about, depleting our numbers, but allowing them to make more numbers for themselves, right? Because they need that room, that space. That's why that young brother, you seen that young brother that got they locked him up for kissing the white girl? Did you see that story?
No.
The brother that was at the club dancing with the white girl, took her back to his place, came back, and she was mad because he went back and then claimed rape. They did the case, didn't have no DNA other than the fact they found that his saliva might have been on the stomach a little bit, but no penetration, semen, none of that, and locked him up. I'll probably do that story tomorrow. I got another story too, another brother that got locked up too, but yeah, so
I remember it was about a couple of years ago, maybe about 10 or 12 years ago down in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
It was a black, I guess they was high school students, black dude. He was 17, white female 15. They gave him life for dating her. Then you seen about the story recently down there in Georgia about the cop.
Okay.
You heard about that one? The black cop who was in relation with the white girl on the police force.
Oh, you talking about the one in Texas? No, not that one. No, not that one. Okay, this I didn't hear that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was one in Georgia. It was recently, maybe last week.
Okay, you know the name?
Yeah, he was up there.
You know the name?
Nazi flag in the police station.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I did hear about that. Yeah, I think I did hear about that story.
Yeah, and he looking all sad. I'm talking about big swole dude. No, he could bench something.
Mm-hmm.
About to come down to tears because white folks in the town turned against him. And he lost the little white cup snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right, they what they're doing is they want to send that message. They try again, in order for them to get their numbers, they got to make certain people not have, they can't be crossing over. That's how they looking at it. And so they, putting that fear in a lot of them. You can't tell. They living in this day and age, and it's kind of like, well, they believe everything is good, and it's not like I'm not telling you can't. I'm just saying understand the repercussions that come with it, because again, you better understand the fullness of this game here. And that's a lot of people playing with a half understanding of the game. You better understand this game because they ain't playing.
They still come with that. Some, not all, not all. I'll be like, I walk with them and talk. those the ones right there. History shows me the ones right there. I can't deal with them.
Okay.
Not all.
Okay, he said some, but not all, right? Right. They're trying to make the exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, it's like you go out here and go tame a rattlesnake. Is it not all of them? Would they not all bite you? In fact, the baby ones will kill you quicker than the adults.
If you think of the last three incidents, Bernard, have been 20, 20, and 19 years old. The last three major incidents that they talked about, the last two was 20 and the other one was 19. Y'all good, brother? Okay. So, yeah, but other than that, man, I mean, yeah, like I said, man, I'm going to send you I'll be sending you some, an email or so, and be like, on a day, it'd be like, what day would be good for you if you want to come on, be up on the panel. Yeah, they probably cut. Yeah, they probably cutting the show. You know what I'm saying? Because we sitting here, we talking. But I'm going to send you an email, and let you know, and you tell me what day would be good for you when I set up a show for a panel. You could come on. I got a couple other people. I got a couple sisters too, so that'll be kind of good. We're getting all different kind of perspectives from.
Yeah, they message fine in here, man. I heard you say you gonna send an email. But
that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you know they monitor, but I appreciate you, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this show because I don't want to cut it and the whole thing is be messed up. You know. But if anything else you want to talk about, brother, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'll listen because if they cut me. Now, go ahead, brother. If you got some other stuff to impart, go ahead because I hear all kind of stuff in the background.
No, okay. I'm hearing. What I was going to say was, you know, what I responded to earlier on the chat was where we was going to go. You know, they cross seas to get over here to us, trying to conquer that. Then they going all over Africa, this, that, and the third, which I say that the whole world was melanated because if you read between the lines, everything, that's all the Pan-Africans were saying, but then they always talking about everything started in Africa, which don't make sense because grass don't grow in one spot. You know what I mean? Grass does not grow in one spot, no one tree growing at one time.
That's right. You right.
So
right.
I trimmed the fat and went straight to the meat. You know, and the whole world was melanated. The indigenous, they killed them off, populated, okay, maybe it's like what? The so-called Native Americans that we think is Native Americans, you know, the Chinese came over here during whatever little dynasty, made it with the women, created the Mexicans and the natives, which could be classified as $5 Indians, you know what I mean?
Right.
Along with the white man. So white skin is white skin to me. I don't know olive. Either dark brown or white.
Ain't no in between. Ain't no riding the fence. I hear you. Right. Ain't no in between. Ain't no fence.
Up, down, left, right. What's in the middle?
Okay.
We got balance. You see what I'm saying? You know, and we ain't balanced. So let's get to the balance part. Let's figure out what side is we on here. For the people of we ain't.
Right. Right.
That's what I was saying. So, you know, all this running, this, that, and the third, we could run into the community. White folks come through all day long trying to Patreon your shops or whatever. You know what I mean? And get them a quick dinner and go back wherever they come from. But let you go over there to them. Oh, it's a problem.
Right. Right. Yep.
So all this running trying to find something, you can't do that. When I look at it, you can be 100 years old or 99 years old, and I guarantee you still on that deathbed won't be ready to go. But you're going to go regardless. You see what I'm saying?
Say that again, brother.
You're going to go regardless.
Say that again.
99 to 100 years old, and you still ain't going to be ready to go. Because you don't know what's on the other side, but you know you got to go there.
Exactly.
Something tells me that all these other nationalities, they don't mind dying for what they believe in. So maybe they know something that we don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, so what you... Oh, okay.
Maybe, we quote a little bit of that Bible that they wrote down there. A man lives on through his seed. So is that reincarnation? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
If they set themselves up centuries down the line so they can have a good life, you got to sacrifice something. See, we want it in the now. That's what you were talking about that media and all that stuff.
Right.
All these pictures and everything, and how that little new catchphrase they got, living my best life, which is a joke to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Crazy, man. It's like, I do it like how the FBI do it. I just sit back and just watch, flip through, keep quiet. You telling me all the algorithms that they want to know, you know what I'm saying? Just from their little profiles and all that, like you broke down. Carefully.
Right.
And I was right there with you. That's why I made me call in. I said, you talking tonight, Jim.
Yeah.
Breaking everything down.
Yeah.
Just sit back and just watch. That tells me the type of person I'm dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do it all the time. Why can't we do it?
Exactly. But, people are afraid. They're afraid to have the conversation, right? And that's all we're doing is having a conversation. We not congregating trying to say we got some plan to do something. We just saying, hey, this is what it is, and understand what's going on. That's it. That's all you got. That's all you got at this moment. Until, like you said, till the heads prevail, what they understand what we need to do. Again, that's a conversation that'll never be had by me on here. But I'm just saying, when you understand that, they gonna know. Other than that, it's just we have to be informative. Those who know gonna have to speak, and those who don't know gonna have to listen. And that's just what it is.
Like old boy.
Yeah, go ahead, Bernard. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say just like that interview with that mafia dude on Glass, he was talking about it. He was talking about he did a little shot throwing at some game. He ain't say black. He coached the language down.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just don't randomly shoot this, that, and third and all that. I said, look at him talking this smack. Then Glass, I think I sent you that interview.
Mm-hmm.
With Big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Glass went back and you know how he is. Basically instigating. Went back out, he took a shot at the blacks. Like, well, the movie's telling it differently. Now he went back to try to catch himself to explain that it was the movie's lies so big. Black going on flashbacks of what he was saying about most mob movies ain't really that accurate. Only mob movie he's seen that was accurate was HBO version of God. You know, they always got somewhere to cover themselves up, but the first gangster I seen was Al Capone on TV. They were just regularly shooting up the doggone marketplace.
Right.
Everything was getting hit. Vegetables and all.
Hey, what you say? What you said though, Bernard? You said on TV though, right? You said it on TV though. Yeah, we don't know what really took place. We just know what we heard. We don't know what it was.
Yeah, I was so listening to how he was talking, and he showed enough gave me some clues where he tried to make it so civilized that where we was shooting our own with dogs. Don't that sound like white on white crime?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. But they got to sell that. They got to make us like that. That's what I was saying about that movie Casino. When they was talking about Samuel Jackson when he fell asleep in the truck, talking about niggas fall asleep. That's how the getaway man fall asleep. The niggas always fall asleep in the car. Well, see, they the original. When you look historically at how the attack, how the mob came, is when they was fighting against the Mamluks in history. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Mamluks? Those was the ones that the Moors went and got them white Turkish children and raised them up and put them in their military, and then they had a white military, and then when they were fighting against the white man, they was using them. And then what they did, they got smart, and then they end up they was ruling. That's how you had that Mamluk ruling up in Egypt. So what happened was the Mamluk was fighting against the white man, and it was these Italian ones that from Italy, they was the ones that stood up and really fought them, and that's where that mob came from. That's where that origin of this mob, because they was the one that stood up and fought against the Mamluks. And so they hold that. So when we was sitting here talking about when we talking about gangsters and mobsters and all that, people kind of look at us like, we the originals of that. So you copying us. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? They had Dorothy, the white one, and then we got Diana Ross, and we got the Wiz. We copying, mimicking what they did. So how do you respect somebody when they copying you? Right?
Yeah, just like they talking about Idris Elba going to play 007 and all that. But to piggyback what you were saying about Casino, you remember that scene in Godfather? Well, what was the middle son name? He was at the dinner table. He was talking about pushing the coke and all that. We'll let the niggas do it. I think it was mom. We'll let the niggas do it. They're animals anyway.
Right.
That was in Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Trick baby broke down on how the Republicans, who was it? The Democrats and all that.
Spit it to them. Spit it to him. Go on, spit it to him, Bernard. Tell him.
I forgot how I can't spit it right off the top. But they were telling us how the Democrats and doggone how they was behind the welfare and how us as a people is in our situation today. Because they would sit down at the dinner table with Republicans and all that. It's a trick, baby. Anybody, you know, they go on YouTube, they look the trick baby up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. And
I see all the little shots and all that there, and I look at it like, we get our minds right. Once we learn what's on the other side, once we exit the body, so.
Yeah, so I guess.
We get that confirmation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It got to come soon. I know that much. It got to come soon. Well, but now it look like me and you the only one up in here. So like we done ran everybody up out of here, right? So everybody who gonna catch the replay is gonna hear this conversation, right? Because you know this at this time it's kind of like they don't want me on because again they got the kids and stuff, so they gonna make sure not to be heard. But the people on the replay gonna hear us. But again, like I said, brother, you can always call in on this show, man. You can always call on, man. What's that good? What's that again, brother?
I said I could clear a room the way I be talking.
I hear you.
I be talking. I can clear the room out, man.
I hear you. And that's what I'm saying. I want you to, like I said, man, you got a platform, or if you want a seat over here to come on talk, you're always welcome to come over here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to go on and close the show out. I want to thank you for calling in. And that's Bernard Thomas there. That's a good brother right there, man. For those who don't know, that brother right there, he's persistent, and you know he gonna show, because I know he know, because I can see the stuff that he be sending, so I know he see, you know, and that's what it is. A lot of people out here don't see, but there's certain brothers out here and sisters that see, and that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need these seers in these days that's coming, because depending on what's gonna happen after this election, right? This election has been the telltale. Either my man finna come back, get that another 4 years, or whoever they put in. Because if they put in this cat, you know, who they running now saying he leading the polls, then it's going to be a done deal. So, appreciate that Bernard came in. I don't know what's going on with the sound effect, though. They've been cutting the sound the whole time. They might have cut it all this other time, because I don't even see my mic now. So, again, I want to thank everybody coming in, participating in the show today. You got a couple call-ins today. I want to appreciate those who called in. I think that was Killer 22, and that was my brother Bernard Thomas. You know how I got to end the show, y'all. And we're going to see peace, love, and hair grease and all that good stuff until the next show, which hopefully is tomorrow if I don't get they don't ban me out, right? So till then, let me see if I can find it. I don't even see my ending on here. What? Okay, there you go. Up here, there you go. All right, so we're going to end the show out. Again, peace, love, and hair grease and all that good stuff until the next show. Stay black, stay strong.
Portions of the following program may be unsuitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, they cut the sound out. Oh, they cut the sound.
Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
I'm here to tell you tonight that the businessmen, the mayor of this city, the police commissioner of this city, and everybody in the white power structure of this city must take a responsibility for everything.
Can you feel it?
Luther and I and everyone in this arena tonight are unified by the same great American values. We're proud of our country. We respect our flag. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Race is when you use your power and influence to subject people into inferiority. Utterances can't be racist.
Look around you, man. They own this shit. They own this couch you sitting on.
them shoes you got on your feet, this building, this school, this country, you. We're behind enemy lines, dog.
So you must first of all remember that this system was not originally designed with black people in mind. Right on. And it definitely was not prepared for black people to, in the end, begin to demand their rights and an equal share in this country which they've died for. Right on. Hey, and we definitely are not going back to Africa.
In the church, we used to sing the song, "Good news, the chariot is coming." While you sit here today, knowing that you have come to hear good news, you must realize in advance what good news for you might be bad news for somebody else. What good news for the sheep might be bad news to the wolf.
They say, oh, things are getting so much better for you. In 1849, it was hitting blacks on the head 100 times a day. In 1990, they hit them 48 times a day. Isn't it better? Oh, it's got to be better. You're saved 52 blows.
The only purpose of most black Americans on earth today is to destroy.
I think that's noble. Italians love Italians, when Irish love Irish, but when a nigga loves a nigga, it's an unpardonable sin. They have blood in their hands. When we say they have blood in their hands, we are not saying him, George Bezos, went and killed. But white people colonized us. They dispersed us. They enslaved our people. They sucked our economy dry. They are still sucking it dry even today. That's white people. Tony Blair, George Bush, Napoleon Bonaparte, Leopold, Adolf Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu. All white people, they are the same. They are racist and they are full of hate.
I've been waiting for you. You have many questions, and though the process has altered your consciousness, you remain irrevocably human. Ergo, some of my answers you will understand, and some of them you will not. Concordantly, while your first question may be the most pertinent, you may or may not realize it is also the most irrelevant.
Why am I here? Our world is coming crumbling down. The coons are coming.
You got to understand that white America has an uncanny way of making the victim the victimizer. Excuse me, master, for putting my head in the way of your club. Not that your club is brutalizing my head and putting hickeys on it. My head got in the way of your free swing and broke your shiny stick, and I want to apologize for that.
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision. While it remains a burden assiduously avoided, it is not unexpected and thus not beyond a measure of control, which has led you inexorably here.
There are more connections in the human body than there are stars in the galaxy. We possess a gigantic network of information to which we have almost no access.
Matrix is older than you know. I prefer counting from the emergence of one integral anomaly to the emergence of the next, in which case this is the sixth version.
5 months before me. There are only two possible explanations. There were 5 months before me. Either no one told me, or no one knows.
Precisely. As you are undoubtedly gathering, the anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
Control me! I'm gonna smash you to You can't make me do anything like Chris!
Choice. The problem is choice.
Let us remember that we are not brutalized because we're Baptists. We're not brutalized because we're Methodists. We're not brutalized because we're Muslims. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America. Because white people made him to be what he is. They made him to look evil because that's their role. to make all of us black people to look evil and to hate ourselves. I can't hate.
You're a nigga till you die. If you're a poor nigga, you're a poor nigga. If you're a rich nigga, you're a rich nigga. But you never stop being a nigga. And if you get to be educated, you're just an educated nigga.
Well, I'm told every day I'm on air that I'm racist because I call out racism. That is maddening to me, and I'm crying about it because it's crazy.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching you and I and trying to tell the white man to get this powder keg out of his house. Let the black man separate from his house. Let the black man have his own house. Let the black man have his own land and his own property.
I thought the bitch was white! Damn it! I thought the bitch was white!
That's true. I think that white people are so guilty, knowing what they've done to black people, that they feel if the deeds were reversed, they would hate the black man if he had done the same thing to them. So it's actually, it reflects a guilt complex on the part of whites when they ask us, do we hate them? And if you notice, Uncle Sam has formed a habit of going all over the world. He calls it the ugly American or the American image. He thinks that everybody hates him because it's a guilt complex. And if you think that if you are worried about Europeans hating you, and they're your allies and your cousins, well, naturally it would follow for you to think that Negroes in this country would hate you, especially in light of what has been done to black people in this country by white people.
Now, check it out. The white ball dominates everything, right? Knocks the shit out the yellow ball, the red ball, right? And the game's over when the white ball drives the black ball completely off the table.
But you have to see that all of this is hypocrisy.
I love Malcolm. Malcolm called me the Sunday that he died. I was working Basin Street East. He said, Brother Greg, you coming by today? And I said, Malcolm, I love you. And I said, I love you so much, I don't even want to take a chance to be there. He said, what do you mean, Brother Greg? I said, well, I close tonight, Sunday night at Basin Street East. And I said, but I had my wife book me a flight into Chicago at 8 o'clock this morning. And I'm going to Chicago, and I had way beneath my salary, booked me into a college about 10 miles from the airport. And I'm going to go there and speak this afternoon, and I'm going to stay there until they tell me you dead. Because I'm not going to let this government get two of us for the price of one. And I'm going to call Adam Clayton Powell when I finish talking to you and beg him not to come there. Because today, the United States government is going to get you.